Welcome to Racing Post Live. Glorious Goodwood, day one, has been and gone like that in a flash. But don't worry, we've got 4 more days. Today, another fun-filled Glorious Goodwood. And it's all about Baaeed today. Brilliant Baaeed, best Baaeed. We'll keep going with the alliteration. But yesterday, how good was the Goodwood Cup? And what a battle the Strad put up against the winner, Kyprios. And it's great to hear that Stradivarius isn't yet retiring. That's what we like to hear. So plenty of action to look forward to. As I said, today is the Sussex Stakes. A fabulous race. It was the best horse in the world, ever. G-Rod thinks exactly the same. He's joined me again here in the studio. Doesn't feel like we've left, G, does it?
No, I could have slept here, couldn't I, really?
We could.
Yeah. It's been a whirlwind 24 hours? Slightly less, isn't it? I suppose if you say that the last race yesterday we covered was 4:15, was it? Something like that?
4:10.
Yeah, no, it's great to be back, obviously. Yeah, shame that... you know, we've got a bit of a hideous race, haven't we, for the Group 1, you know, the Sussex, in my opinion. I like to see horses really be tested, like we saw yesterday, of course. Yeah. Kyprios and Strad really, you know, going for it. Trusham right there. Yeah, today, less said about that, the better.
Well, we can keep the faith. Ross, great to have you in the studio with me.
Yeah, that is. I have changed my name officially by deed poll to Rossi Ross. My 90s hip hop album will be out soon.
Rossi Roscoe. Oh yeah, we're gonna have them all today, Ross.
Yeah,
well, we used to work together quite a bit, didn't we? And then it's a bit too thin on the ground these days.
I know, and they've had to put G-Rod in between us to separate us. That's it. So
it's okay. Because I brought my bell in from home.
Yeah, your bell in from home.
The Quizmaster's not here though today.
Yeah, I know.
Well, can you take over the role of Quizmaster from Melrose as well?
Well, anyway, I've got a lot of racing-based trivia questions from the last few weeks of Beat Keith. So if you want to try and step up to the plate, I can get some trivia out. I've got trivia coming out of my ears. I'll tell you.
I was hoping to be the one asking the questions. To be quite honest with you, but no.
Well, I could send you the questions, but then I wrote them, so I'm going to absolutely
that's not going to work. Well, yesterday we tried it and it was like a tumbleweed moment. I was like, last debutante to win at Royal Ascot in 1996.
Last debutante to win at Royal Ascot in 1996.
Horse trainer.
When I was at the golden age of 12.
Doesn't know.
No, I thought the last debutante. No, it wasn't. Wasn't Bark? No, it was.
And it was like Shamakin, Saeed bin Saror and Hamdan Mahmoud too.
Right.
But anyway,
what was the Paul Cole horse in the Cheshire? That wasn't a debut. Was that a debutante?
Oh yeah, that
Berkshire?
was the Burt Holloway Boy.
Didn't Berkshire win the Cheshire? Or was he placed in the Cheshire?
Yeah, but I don't think that was his debut. I think he finished
No, it
fourth.
wasn't his debut, so it was only going to be... So we talked about Holloway Boy. Yeah. Anyway, the whole quiz, just disaster. It was literally tumbleweed moment. And then, thankfully, we've got Barry Orr saving the day, because he was like... I was on the edge of my seat there, Nat, and I was like, yeah, let's not do that again.
Yeah. See, but I've made this mistake before. Dave's made this mistake before. You come into the Racing Post Live studio with loads of ideas and plans and things like that. And I can't remember what it was, but I had something where I was like, there's 10 horses who've done this in this particular race. Can you name them? And both Dave and Keith sat there and named one between the two of them. And I spent 5 minutes going, come on, guys. And it was excruciating. So
basically, it doesn't work. But look, we're actually not even too far away from our 150, this handicap class 2. What we're going to do is go over the water, over the sea, to Barry Orr of Betfair. Barry was our trophy winner yesterday. Yay! Round of applause, wee! And yay! Barry, how are you? Lovely to see you again. And of course, excitingly, we can showcase Betfair Exchange, a sportsbook, and start with our lucky 15. And Ross is on the keyboard.
He certainly is. Yeah, there was a thunderous round of applause there from your fellow panelists there, Nat. I thought I heard most definitely. G-Rod, I think, gave it a whoop whoop. Thanks, G-Rod. Now, looking forward to today. There's some cracking racing. Looking forward to seeing the best racehorse in the world, bar none. His last time over a mile before they step him up to a mile 2 into Juddmonte and then onto the Arc. So that's I have it all mapped out for Shadwell. Do not fear. Yeah, we're going to start with our lucky 15. We're here to showcase really the functionality of both the Betfair Exchange and the Sportsbook. We're doing it for charity. It's retraining of racehorses this week. And it is a long week. Obviously, we've 4 races again today. And a lot to look forward to. But for our lucky 15, please, Ross, we're going to go in the first race in the 1.5 mile handicap, Luminous Light. That's 4 places on the Betfair Sportsbook. Same 4 places in the following race at 225. The French filly, Samaran, really like her in the Oak Tree Stakes. Then our third leg is at 3 o'clock in the Malcolm. That's Eddie's Boy, the Super Sprint winner. And our fourth and final leg is in our last race at 4:10, Scorpio. So we're going to do that for £1. It's a lucky 15 each way. 15 bets each way means it's going to cost us 30 quid. 6 doubles, 4 trebles in the accumulator, and 4 singles. So fingers crossed we go a little bit better than yesterday. We had a 12-to-1 winner and a place horse. We got a place double and one winner up in it yesterday. Hopefully we go a bit closer today. And there are a couple of real fancies in there, especially this one in the first luminous light.
Yes, of course we will. Come on, keep the faith. I'm just looking in pictures. I quite like to keep people informed of what we can see. Horse number 10, Inverness, is in a little bit of a lather. The sun is shining down at Glorious Goodwood. I think I can see a Mark Johnston horse there. Luminous Light, Barry.
Luminous Light.
Yeah, just
Washed with sweat.
Yeah.
I just drifted out to 17 as I speak.
Okay.
The joys of punting.
Yeah, exactly, and the joys. And actually, number 2 here, I'll be quite brief on mine, but is my each way pick, Max Sud. Got a bit of a case for this horse, really. Ryan Moore takes the ride as Max Sud steps back into handicap company. I thought that the track and the step up in distance to 1 mile 4 would be absolutely perfect. Thought it was quite a good each way shout. But I'm all over Winwise Secret State. I love this horse.
Okay, why is that?
Well, for so many reasons, Ross. I've got so many
Tell
notes.
me what are they now?
He's
What are the
rapidly progressed
reasons?
through the ranks this season, enjoyed a fine moment when winning the King George V. But what really, it was amazing that Charlie Appleby has basically said, when this horse was 2, it could barely canter. This Dubawi. Dubawi's can be like that, by the way. You need to give them time. He said, honestly, over the winter, they just didn't know what to do. And he said that this horse really taught him to have patience and to give horses time. 3 years of age and just boom, the progression it's made. I think when they progress like this, they're onto good things. So Secret State to win. Let's have a look at Max Sud for each way. G-Rod to you.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what I fancied for this race. There were
been
quite
so
a few that I
busy.
liked. There were quite a few.
You're on Friday time, aren't you? You've
I
up already.
yeah, I'm in that big meeting mode, Ross, that you know I get into, where I'm already working on the Golden Mile for Friday.
Hang on,
We're only on Wednesday, aren't we?
G-Rod,
I've switched you to Wednesday.
Oh, thank you. You've switched me on.
No, but just to put some context to it, poor G-Rod, you're going on holiday tonight. We can talk about it later, but you've got a flight to Canada. You have been working your socks off all this morning in the office. All you can hear is brain fart, keyboard, and you're like, "Am I all right, G-Rod?" And then poor thing hadn't eaten. Then he went and got a sandwich. Never seen anyone inhale a chicken and bacon sandwich so quickly. Crust and all, everything's gone in. The big bear. But you're ready to go now.
I am ready to go. Yeah. I was once named the loudest typer in the Racing Post office because I really do take out my frustration on the keyboard. Anyway, yeah, the one that I like is Mugada,
Okay.
who I rated the race last time out because it was a staying race when he beat Nova Legend. I thought Nova Legend was really well treated that day, and wow, he was impressive, Mugada, that day. Very, very impressive. He went through the line really strongly. The third is Levitate. Now, that won a race the other day somewhere in Yorkshire. I always get mixed up.
I believe it was Thirsk.
That's in Yorkshire, isn't it?
He got up on the line, didn't it, in a 2 mile handicap.
That's right, and there was a horse called Stormbreaker in second who was similarly
Yep.
lightly raced. The front 2 came nicely clear, so I think the form's all right. He's back down to 1.5 miles, so we're gonna want them to go fairly hard in that, I think.
Okay.
But I think that he could go well, Mugada. And the other one that I must give a mention to, because I'm going to look a bit stupid if it runs poorly, Inverness.
In a bit of a sweat.
Is he?
Really sweated up in the preliminaries.
I mean, I thought that last time out when he ran at Ascot, he ran a huge race. The front 3 came like miles clear of the rest. I sort of whacked him up £11 on RPRs because Reverend Hubert was fourth, and Reverend Hubert generally runs to a good level, and he was beating miles. They finished the race very strongly, and the time was quite good. So I thought, well, that looks strong form. But the handicapper didn't agree with me. The handicapper went, "Oh no, what are you doing here?" And he's just given Baaeed £3. and he's left Inverness on the same mark. So now, poor old Paul Curtis, who's had to tip this race for RPRs because it's in his section, a 1.5 mile race, not 1.6 miles, has had to tip Inverness because he's coming out like £4 or £5 clear because I've rated this all so highly next time. So
you've annoyed him then?
I've no doubt I've really wound Paul Curtis up. It'd be in the same way that I had Trushan at 128 in the Northumberland Plate. That's really wound everyone up. Because it's like the best staying performance.
Don't worry,
of all
G-Rod,
time.
you're getting on a flight tonight. And your phone will firmly on aeroplane mode, so...
Yeah. Plus you winding people up is par for the course in this job, right?
Of course it is, that's why he's here. We do have a social, which is nice. Hi, Will, how are you? Solcombe for me in the first needs a good pace to aim at, but should get that here. So what we can do is go over... Was that someone talking to me? Was that the gremlin?
I think that was...
all I heard was... I think
it was a bit of commentary from the background. I thought Barry was...
I thought Barry got electrocuted from his laptop.
Yeah.
Ross, that could be a good question for you actually about pace.
Oh, right, I thought you were not about being electrocuted by your laptop. We've all been there. So the thing about... Again, I don't think you want to be... You don't want to be gunning it from the front by any stretch of the imagination at Goodwood, especially in these kind of races. It's not only is it difficult to get the pace right in big fields, it's at festivals where the blood's pumping first race. These kind of tracks where they turn into the home straight, you've got your cutaway, they're spreading out all over the shop. It is quite hard to get those early fractions right. So I don't think you want to be going too mad off the start. Zane Knights is probably going to be up there as he was last time out at Newbury. There's a couple who you're not quite sure. Box to Box has been prominent, but in the past hasn't been. One of my selections potentially could be up there in the shape of Mandobi, because you've got two Haggis horses in. One wants a really strong pace. One is a bit of a galloper from a prominent position. So there's a potential that Mandobi could be the Haggis kind of. I'm not going to not necessarily say pacemaker for Solcombe, but he's almost got both bases covered. But as ever with these handicaps, you don't really know until the first furlong. We saw yesterday Forest Falcon. You thought, well, that horse is prominently ridden. It's got no chance from that draw. And it got that lovely sit on the wide outside, and they didn't go mad gallop, and he kicked at the right time.
Frankie wanted it yesterday.
It was a peach. It was a peach of a ride, wasn't it?
Yeah. I like Mando, but I thought Mando was worth another shot because I kind of was really warm on Mandobi at Royal Ascot, and I was really disappointed. But I think now I've rewatched it a couple of times, I've gotten over myself, and actually I don't think it just went to plan.
No chance.
He had no chance.
I backed him that day.
Yeah, we did. I think we're both on Mandobi.
Well, it was so the thing about those Royal Ascot handicaps is you get 16 plus runners, and the inside draws normally have an absolutely torrid time. They go off too quick, they get in each other's way, and everything sweeps down the outside, which they did for like the last 2 days. But on that day, the first couple of days on the round track, you couldn't make any ground whatsoever. He was drawn 18, Mandobi. He was 3 wide throughout. The other horse who basically had exactly the same trip as him was Aknamara, who got beat half a length at Doncaster the other day when trying to make all the running behind Anamato. So he had no chance. I think this track will probably suit him a little bit better as well. The ground's not going to be as quick as it was at Royal Ascot, albeit it's still fairly quick based on yesterday. And he's got a much better draw in 6 here. So I've got him. I mean, on that battering of Weight to Excel last time out, he looks very well handicapped. So he was one of my 3. Mandobi was one of them. Maxud was another who I think really impressed on debut, and things haven't gone to plan in small fields since then. And the other one who I think is a little bit overpriced is Timesius Fox, who keeps running into horses. He ran into Braden Star, who's been sold abroad for big money. He ran at Ascot. He was drawn in 2, but he had to switch wide to make his challenge. And of course, he made all the running behind Solcombe last time out. He's drawn in 4. I think they're all way too big here. But yeah, Secret State's the one to beat, but everything went to plan for him at Ascot last time out.
Okay.
I'm not saying it doesn't win again, but he's too short, I think.
Well, Barry Orr, we're desperate to hear from you. We've still got 2 minutes. Loading hasn't quite gone underway. Inverness, who I said got pretty warm, was jumped off and then has been remounted, just to let people know. But Barry, what is your single pick in this?
Yes, Secret State's your favourite at the moment at 4.0, so straight 3-1. Solcombe is 7.2. Surrey Miss Mandobi is 11. Mark Sud, who there was money for earlier on in the week, it was really popular, is out to 17.5. The horse I like in it, Luminous Light, there was 547 quid matched at a low at 10. That's out to 25 now. So obviously the preliminaries haven't gone well for Luminous Light.
Right.
But I'm still going to just have a 25 quid place on it, please, G-Rod, or Ross. And we're going to look at the 4-place market on the Betfair Exchange. So currently on the Betfair Exchange, Luminous Light in the 4th place market is trading at 7-2. Broke his duck here on his debut on this course over a mile. Put it up to Natalie Green and Ajero in his seasonal reappearance in Chepstow in a novice. Was gelded after he disappointed in Newbury. He's a little bit unlucky last time in Ripon. He's drawn 9 here. He's going to try to get out and get up to the lead. But like I said, it looks like he hasn't taken the preliminaries too well. But 25 quid at 7-2 for the charity on Luminous Light off 8 stone 8 with Franny Norton in the play.
Yeah, fair enough. And Franny, we know great jockey to be enthusiastic. It'll be interesting to see how tactics go. They're still not quite started the loading process. We are just about on off time. It's quite funny actually because a few of these horses, I've got to be honest, look a bit agitated. It's all a bit argy-bargy, messy-wessy. Things are going on. Jockeys are on the floor. Horses are getting remounted. I don't know what's going on.
Horse flies, Nat.
Horseflies. It's the horse flies.
I was going to say, isn't this just midsummer racing festivals, especially the first race where they all think 150? Is it? Sorry. Oh my God, it's now.
It's summer. Oh, sorry, just finishing my Pims.
Exactly.
We do have another social, though, which is great because it is an interactive show, remember. Like, subscribe, share, thumbs up, comments are all welcome, nice ones only. Paul Ridgway has said, good evening, everybody. Oh, where are you from? You should have said where you're coming from, Paul, because good evening. It's definitely not the evening here.
I think he's the starter at Goodwood, but I was thinking.
Good luck with all bets today. Mugadir in the first. It's one you had your mention
Yes,
for,
Paul,
yeah?
I'm on that one. Yeah, I think Paul was in touch yesterday, and I think he is in Australia.
Oh, Paul, well, great. That's fantastic. That's what we like to hear. But yeah, do find us on obviously YouTube, Facebook, like, share, hashtag RP Live. The loading process is underway. It's nice, isn't it, all the stall handles down there? They're just sort of getting on with the job, trying to get them in now as quickly as possible. I'm aware we are just about a minute behind. So it's not too bad, and the majority now have loaded for our 150, this 1 mile 4 handicap with 13 horses going to post. I like Secret State and Maxud for an each way. G-Rod, Mugadir, along with Paul. Barry likes Luminous Light, and Ross mentioned a few. So Ross is going to do the commentary.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think this is it will be a good race. It's always a good race. It's thrown up Group 1 winners in the past as well. So if you get beat today, I wouldn't be too worried about your future chances. But they're often racing. Solcombe a little bit slow. Surrey missed, came out of the boxes and gave him a little bit of a nudge, and also Mandobi. So the two Haggis horses are currently last and second last. Early pace is coming from Secret State. Will Buick has come down this inside rail, and as Barry predicted, Luminous Light is also tracking over, and it doesn't look a mad gallop. There's a lot of these who are pulling for their head a little bit keen. Zay Knight's the other potential pace angles up there in fourth. Mugadir on the outside. Secret State's a little bit keen. Surrey missed in behind those. Inverness, if you can get a run, has got a nice pitch for G-Rod and his RPRs on the wide outside as well, giving the outside to nobody. It looks like it's box to box. Solcombe's out the back with Tamusius Fox and Mandobi and Maxud at Adjuvant's approachability as well. But this is a stop-start gallop, Barry. Your horse is covered in sweat, but he's managed to contain himself so far in the run.
Yeah, he's got to the front and dropped anchor, really, Franny. He was keen to get to the front. That's the first part of the plan complete. He's been tracked through there by Mugadir, your horse, who's currently trading at 13, but Secret State's in the box seat. 3.3 now, Secret State. 6.6 Solcombe. 11 Mandobi. 9.6 Inverness as well. Your leader is 14.5, so he's half the price.
See, I'm loving the look of Secret State here. He is just that big, imposing chestnut there in those blue silks, just towing along really nicely. We do have Luminous Light still out in front. Maxud, my each-way pick, lolloping along in a pretty lollopy way at the moment, but they're still all pretty going a pretty steady gallop on the G-Rod.
Trying to kick on, aren't they, up front now? Yeah.
Do you think yours is going to... You said a mile and 6 stamina. He's given where his position is, he's got to take...
Yeah, I think he's got to go, hasn't he? Because he's not going to be beating them for speed, you wouldn't have thought.
He's trying to go now, though, a bit, G-Rod. Come
on, Mugadir,
Come
pick
on,
him
we
up.
need to cheer on our own horses. Come on.
Luminous Light, the Mugadir, Secret State down the inside. They're all coming off the rail. Mandobi's catching the eye. Maxud, but given how slowly they've come, it's no surprise. Inverness also catching the eye as well.
They're going well.
This is anyone's race. Secret
State
State still in front
there
though.
with Luminous Light.
Adjuvant trying to get a bit of a run as well. Surrey missed. Tamusius Fox, Solcombe. This is
what a messy race.
Come on, Secret State.
Mandobi switches to the inside.
Inverness, pick up.
Secret State is at the the pitch.
Come on, Secret State, don't start hanging, come on.
Oh my God,
But Secret State is in the box seat. Nat's very happy with it.
Come on.
Inverness rattled home to win the maiden here last year and is doing the same. Secret State coming over to this near side, but still has plenty in hand. Maxud on the far side. Secret State still in front though and rallies and wins pretty cosily in the end to beat Maxud. And we've got a lovely forecast for Natalie Green in the opening contest. Secret State given a beautiful ride by William Buick there. And you are as happy as Natty.
Good old Billy Buick.
Yes!
There you go. Everything went to plan there, didn't it?
Barry, race reaction. Did you just... Luminous light?
Yeah, Luminous Light, obviously, he went out like he was shot at the 3 furlong marker when push came to shove, but the favourite had a sweet run throughout, traded at odds on in the a furlong out, but then when the runner-up, Maxud, came to him, Maxud traded at a low of 2.6, and your third horse was Inverness, wasn't it? Your outside pick. That only traded at a low of 8-1, but the favourite was well placed throughout.
I think that's the thing, isn't it? The in-running players are so sharp. It looked at one point with the camera angle that 3 or 4 had a chance, but they went so slow early on that it's not one of those races where you think anything's going to come through. It was Secret State was probably looking for a bit of company, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he's one with bit in hand.
He's got this tendency just slightly to sort of, whether he's sort of, if you watch when he just crossed the line, straight away he's bending his neck. He just does something to...
Just keep it a little bit. He's just having a little bit of a quirk, a little bit of a kink there.
There has to be something. I'll enjoy watching it a few times, but I think it's a case with him of just keeping him happy, keeping him in the box seat, like Barry quite rightly said early on, and just keeping me on the phone almost.
The amazing thing is that he's come to challenge right up the inside rail, and he's ended up winning right on the stern side rail almost.
Yeah.
So he's come right the way across the course and still won.
Yeah.
8 from 12 for the Ledger.
It's that sort of race, isn't it? So Ron Priestley win it?
Yeah. I think Heather's Moon won it a few
years
ago and won a Coronation
It's about
Cup
now,
as well.
G-Rod, just as you said, just before the furlong out, he literally comes right across the track.
Yeah.
But weirdly, that is a bit of this hanging thing with him. You can just see him doing it, a couple of times. It's nothing too bad. I mean, look, he's straight as a die here.
The horse to take out of that, Solcombe, has run an absolute... I mean, how the hell has that finished, third, fourth? It's fallen out the stalls, it's got bumped at the early stages, it's run dead last throughout, it's not got the strong pace it wants, it's picked up and it's been beaten, a length and a half?
Ross, you're right, that is one to pick out.
That's monstrous.
We do have another social, George Murray here. Buick must have dreamed of that ride. Yeah.
Good old Billy.
Good old Billy Buick. We're not sure if he'd love that nickname, Billy Buick. All right, Billy, I'll try it one time and see his response.
I can imagine. I think this will be his response.
Yeah. Right, let's practice. All right, Billy. Hi, William.
Thank you.
Yes, okay.
Finally, the respect I deserve.
Yeah, I think you could take Solcombe out of that.
Yeah, it was an interesting run, wasn't it? I don't think that they went quick enough for Mugada. He was done for pace, and then he was staying on again at the finish. He wants to go back up to 1 mile and 6, and you'll see him in a better light. Inverness ran really well.
What's the Doncaster back end 1 mile and 6?
Mallard or whatever.
Mallard
handicap. Inverness ran really well, so I'm quite relieved about that, because obviously having given him such a high rating last time out, I now think that I've been vindicated to some degree. He obviously didn't win, but he's bang there in a red hot handicap, and it wouldn't surprise me if he does go up, £3, £4, £5. I thought he would go up for finishing third last time. The race last time, I had it in my head that the handicapper was going to give the winner 6, the runner-up 5, and the third 4, and he ended up giving the winner 3, I think the runner-up 2, and the third nothing.
Yeah, but that's. I mean, as a punter, that's what you want, isn't it? You want to go, I think this race is better than the handicapper thinks it is, and
yeah, I mean, when it works out, but there's equal times when the handicapper ends up being right, and you end up with him wrong, of course, Ross. But yeah.
Well, look, come on, we're rock and rolling. I'm happy as pig in muck. Thank you, Maxud. Thank you, Secret State. Yippee dippy doo. We have got Secret State in pictures now. Big smile from William Buick, and it looks like really beautiful sunshine. We mentioned the weather a little bit yesterday, Ross, because there was these really heavy dark clouds looming that then thankfully didn't really come. There's been a few scattered showers, but we must be delighted with the ground, basically good ground at a summer racing festivals. There's no concerns there, is there? And they have been putting water on, and hopefully the weather looks like it's staying pretty dry with scattered showers for the rest of the festival.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
What, should I get a new job doing the weather? Oh, I tried it once and I couldn't understand the map, so I was like, and down in Scotland and to Liverpool, it was absolute disaster.
It was beautiful intonation there and lovely.
Thank you.
And now back to you in the studio, I think. Maybe you could do the weather on the radio instead. Then you don't have to...
I've got a perfect face for radio, so I'm 100.
Yeah, well, that takes quite some skill, actually. Well, I've got a friend who is a weather forecaster, which I always think is a fascinating job. You know, and yeah, she has to stand there like you were demonstrating there, and you're pointing to places on the map, and you're just looking at a green screen.
Yeah.
There's no map, you know.
No, it's really hard. That's
It's
what I mean.
incredibly hard.
But it's because it's kind of like reverse. So even if you think you've nailed it with Scotland and over to Edinburgh, and then you come down to the Midlands, you haven't. It's very difficult.
You're also seeing yourself on the monitor, and you know, in reverse to how you're standing there. So.
That is a good point, actually, Ross. Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite confusing. But I mean, weather forecasters and tipsters, I think racing tipsters, you know, they're up there with jobs where you remember when you get it right, or when you get it wrong. They remember when you get it wrong, but they don't remember when you get it right, do they, Rod?
No.
Those are Apple weather people.
Yeah.
They're just having a right hoot, aren't they? It's never correct.
Yeah, I'm the Michael Fish of tipping, aren't I?
You are, yeah.
You know, everyone remembers when I get it wrong, and nobody remembers when I get it right.
Exactly, yeah. They won't remember that you thought Inverness was hugely overpriced there.
No,
based on our bill.
they'll
Poor
just say
G-Rod,
that G-Rod tipped Mugada.
G-Rod gets a stick for everything. Bless him.
Could I suggest that we do a Racing Post live, maybe from a giant floating map of the UK in a river at the back?
Like that guy used to do.
Yeah, he
What was
used
his
to
name?
jump across the...
Fred something?
Fred. Barry, do you remember what we're on about on one of those morning shows? And I think it was
think they
near
got it in
Liverpool
Ireland,
docks,
surely.
and they used to blob around on this giant. Well, I'm up for it anyway, absolutely. Right, we have got a couple of topics to talk about today. As I said, it is an interactive show, so we just do love to hear from you. One thing we might sort of try and get around later is prize money, and there's been a bit of talk in the news which I shared because I'm so kind with my fellow colleagues to just give them a little heads up. It's an interesting topic. It's effectively to cut down on race meetings. It's sort of saying that this working group, which involves trainers, broadcasters, bookmakers, race courses, basically saying we have like 1,000 meetings a year and there's almost in effect too much racing, which puts the prize money too thin on the ground. That's the overall argument. Now, putting into play that restructure isn't so black and white, but it's all open to opinion. No one's right or wrong here. I personally agree. I think there is too much racing, which does mean the prize money is effective, because what I'm worried about is what John Gosden said on an interview I did about 4 years ago, saying that we don't want to become a nursery to sell our horse talent abroad, which has been happening. So we need to take action. But I think it's very difficult to know what the exact action is, because if you basically, one of the plans is to say that race courses have to put on a minimum amount of prize money for them to host a meeting. But if you talk about your independent race courses, I mean, we can name some, can't we? Ripon, that's independent. We can name some in Yorkshire, or the smaller race tracks. Then it could be hard on them. So what are your initial thoughts around this idea of cutting meetings back?
Well, I think there's definitely too much racing. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And the trainers, I think, were trying to get the races cut, weren't they? And then there were other people, like typical racing, really, in that nobody really can work together, can they?
No.
That's part of racing's problem. Is it's lots of different people coming from different factions, pulling in different directions. It's very difficult to get one from the same way.
I don't think that's exclusive to racing, though. I think that's humans plus money equals that problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're probably right. I mean,
Plus power.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
my biggest dislike is, like, I understand the moaning about prize money, because the prize money is not great. My biggest dislike is moaning about prize money and then not putting forward an argument as to how they make it better. Like, and an awful lot of trainers come on and say that the prize money is not very good. The prize money is very poor, but they offer absolutely no ideas as to how we can improve the prize money situation. We don't just pluck money out of thin air. To pay to people who are winning races. If we're going to pay more prize money, we need to make more money, one way or another. And ideas as to how we can make more money in racing is what we need, not moaning.
Well, their idea is less meetings, therefore
It's a
saving
good idea.
the money.
I think it's a good idea.
But we've already seen it, Barry, haven't we, with Newbury and the boycotting. I don't know what's your opinion on this, if you have one at all, if you feel strongly about it.
Yeah, I think everyone's in agreement. There's just too much racing. It's impossible. Like, we've just had Super Saturday there a couple of weeks back on the July course, where we did July Cup. We'd Ascot on the same day. We'd Chester on. a couple other high-profile meetings. I think York might have been on that day as well. And, you know, days like that could be better targeted. Like, you could have one of or two of those meetings even in a Saturday evening slot, and maybe one carry on to a Sunday when you're giving the big days time to breathe. You're giving the big races time to breathe. But yeah, I think the danger with racing is that with so much racing that it starts to cannibalize itself. And
I agree.
It pains me to say it could become like the dogs almost, where some meetings are ran as bags, and that's a real danger.
Yeah, no, it's true. And talking of plenty of racing, one of our lovely chats from Frizzy Red is ask Barry who he fancies in the plate later at Galway.
Yeah, I did, and I went back to Frizzy Red there.
Oh, well done,
gave
brilliant.
My tip in the race, yeah, I like Hurricane Georgie for Gordon Elliott and Mr. Kennedy in the plate there.
Okay, well, what we've got as well for our next race then, over at Goodwood, the 225, our very own wonderful, truly missed, he just has to be involved, doesn't he? Our gorgeous Dave Orton has a tip himself in the next. Hopefully it's going to come up at some point. Dave Orton's tip is Honey Sweet. Wowee, Barry, the price of Honey Sweet. Let's
65 on the exchange at the moment.
I think
the win market, I'm sure Mr. Orton will be his magic on his app in Italy.
He's had
there's any restrictions
too
out
many
there.
Pinot Grigios, is he?
Yeah, is he?
Well, what, I mean...
Is he having too many Negronis?
Got no chance, has it? Few too many.
I'm not saying it's got no chance.
This is Junkanoo all over again, potentially, isn't it?
Only 2 lengths to find with the favourite, mind.
Is this a Junkanoo race? No,
one's 65 and one's 5.
And Dave has he actually does have a really good record of picking winners when he's in this chair. So I ain't going to diss him.
Don't say that.
I know.
Well, again, but that's the thing. You're
That's
remembering
the first
Dave's...
person I've ever heard say that.
Well, Barry, do you know why? Because someone told me last night on actual facts. Because I said, no, he doesn't. And they were like, yeah, no, he actually does have a good record. I was like, oh.
No, he's got a very... What you actually mean, he's got a very good record of picking winners when he says, I'll put another 0 on it.
Yeah, he does.
Then they win.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what they meant.
Especially in running.
In running, when he goes, that's got no chance. Look what comes sailing down the outside.
Oh, actually, yeah, Dave.
What we should do is we should set up...
running is brilliant.
We should set up Dave right with a...
Look at this one coming.
We should set him up with a Betfair for the in running, but switch the blue and the pink buttons around and don't tell him, and he'd make an absolute fortune.
Can we do that? Well, why don't we have a look at the market then ahead of this 225 then? The 7 furlongs Whispering Angel. My friends and I call it Whispering Devil, depending on the level of the hangover. This Oak Tree Stakes Group 3, of course, for fillies and mares. A good race this. I can see today. I had a trouble seeing yesterday, Ross, but Oscula 5.7, Harida at 6, Soft Whisper 8.2. It always foxes me, this lovely name, this horse, Samaran at 9.8. Are we there, Barry? 9.8?
Yeah, 9.8, yeah.
Good. Prima Betches 9.4 benefit, and we go 12 bar in the betting. So we may as well come straight to you, Barry, with your opinion on this 225.
Yeah, like you said, Oscula is your favourite with Billy Buick at the head of the market at 5.7. Heredia, who just kind of blotted her copybook just a little last day, is 6. 8.2 Soft Whisper. Prima Betcha, not without a chance, 9.6. I like the filly, the French filly, the Frankie Dettori's riding, Samaran. What we're going to do, we're going to back her each way in the sportsbook. It's 4 places each way in the sportsbook, Ross. We're going to have 25 quid each way. She's just 3-1. She won a listed fillies race under Christophe Simeon in Longchamp last time out. Jessica Harrington's horse Nectaris finished 4th there. That's just been touched off in a Group 3 in Fairy House since. So the form has got a bit of substance to it. Didn't stay the mile 2 before that. This is a race that could be run to suit her. I don't think they're going to go a mad gallop at all and could turn into a bit of a sprint. So, the French filly for me, Samaran, win or each way 25 quid on the sportsbook to take advantage of the 4 places.
There you go.
You got that, Rossi?
Job done there.
See, I think this
it's
is
5 places, by the way. 5 places.
5
even.
even.
Yeah, 5 places on the sports. You've undersold yourself there, Barry. They've added another one on for you.
5 places. See, this is what we're here for. This is what double
Getting
check.
beaten into 5th and going, thank God.
It's funny you say that because 5 places. Because that's brilliant. But I genuinely looked at it again, and could absolutely make the case for 5 horses. 100%. I do quite
Just
like
the 5?
Heredia. Just the 5. I'm not going to, obviously.
No, I genuinely think it's one of those races where you can make it for 10 and still.
Yeah,
still
no, I know.
struggle
I
to
got
get
it down to
the
about just the
forecast.
5. But I do like Heredia, and like Barry's already that blot in a form, but it doesn't really bother me because I just think that she couldn't quite get to her rivals there that were ridden more prominently. So in the replay, it just didn't quite work out for her. One I thought has got an each-way chance. I should just check the prices here. It's 13.5 on Hello You. That is for Dave Loughlane, who trains near to me in Shropshire. I mean, look, she's running great company. Cashier to run against. She ran a cracker in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. There's loads to like. I thought, actually, Hello You was a relatively big price for an each-way, surely. And actually, most importantly, she doesn't have to carry a penalty back in this Group 3. So there's a couple of little... I thought she's flying under the radar a little bit.
It's interesting, isn't it? Like, the Ammo Racing, like, they put their horses with some weird trainers, don't they? Like Dave Loughlane, Alice Haynes has got quite a few. I'm not against it, but...
It feels a bit like they are giving them to trainers where they instead of going into a big yard and being medium fish in a very big pond.
You think they can be more involved?
Yeah, it feels like they're going into yards and being the dominant force, which is probably probably not a bad little angle.
Big fish, small pond.
Yeah, and hopefully that pond gets slightly bigger because is that how it works? The big fish goes into a pond, renovates the pond, makes it a bit bigger. So hopefully big fish, small pond means big fish makes medium pond. That's an
really
ancient proverb.
Weird rave we used to do when we were younger.
Yeah.
So I was born in '86, and it was like big fish. I could never do it, but
big fish, little fish, cardboard box.
Yeah.
Big fish, little fish, cardboard box.
Yeah.
There you go. Right. But you're right. I mean, but also I quite like to see that. So I love that JP McManus just has like horses scattered everywhere. I think it's great. I like it.
I think it's partly the similar thing, isn't it? JP's he's famed for landing a punt, and he's obviously a man who knows what he wants from his horses and his targets.
Yeah.
So it's much easier to go into a yard who are thrilled to have you with 3 or 4 horses and paying the bills and go, this is what we're aiming for.
Yeah, sure.
And not get not pushback necessarily, but certainly have the control that you desire from your runners. And it's paid off for Ammo Race. Not quite as much as they'd hoped, I reckon, but it takes a while, doesn't it? It takes a while to get to find your feet in this game. I think everyone thinks that you just come in with a pot of money and go, there you go, there's 10 million quid. A few Group 1 winners, please.
Yeah.
It takes
But
5
we've
or 10
seen that
years.
loads of time. People come in and it's the people that stick at the game. That's what we want, isn't it? Because we do want these big spenders because at the end of the day, it's good quality for our racing. But Ross is absolutely right. It just takes time.
Yeah. I mean, we're seeing it happens with trainers as well. I'm saying here's a task when you get back from holiday, as if you've not got enough typing to do, is I would love to see rookie trainers and how long it takes them to start winning Group 2s and Group 1s. I think that 10,000 hour, 10-year rule is about right. Charlie Fellows, your Fellows, Ed Walkers, Charlie Hills, it's taken about a decade, I think, to really find their feet.
True, but is George Berry a little bit of an exception? 6 years assistant trainer to Hugo Palmer, young, talented, looks to be a very talented trainer, doesn't he?
Well, yeah, but I think that's what I mean. So we upgrade. He's the outlier in that, isn't it? But I think it takes a lot of trainers quite a bit of a time to get into a rhythm where they're actually competitive in Group 1, 2 and 3 companies. So I'd love you to... There's a task for you, Graeme.
I will keep that in mind. I'll keep that in mind, Ross.
Thank you, Barry. What's that?
The old course, it's good, and the old going was good. The new going is good to firm.
Yeah, it was still pretty quick yesterday, and it's very sunny and
not even gone to the good to firm places. We're just good to firm.
Straight in. Got it wrong
Good
straight
to
off the
firm,
bat.
yeah.
That's what we
Okay,
did.
we're straight in. God, I've got these sleeves on this dress. Everyone's going to think I'm so weird. I keep getting caught on my chair.
We've put them in so that you can't get too excited.
It's happened so many times that I've actually got stuck arms.
Yeah.
Like you're stuck to the chair.
So apologies if people are wondering what I'm doing. We do have 2 socials up on screen. Keep them coming, people. This is Glorious Goodwood and Frizzy Red. We love hearing from Frizzy Red. The French filly for me as well. Absolutely, I think that's a big case we made. Barry Orr is on Samran 2. Frankie Dettori takes the ride. Very unexposed, really, isn't it? And I think they're having a laugh.
She only had 3 runs.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. We will go back to it, actually, Barry, because it is really interesting. Another social is VDB. I have Benefit and Herida in the next one. Yeah, so why don't we talk about those horses then? Let's go back to the French horse. Let's talk about Benefit and let's talk about Herida.
There's only one reason why you bet the French horse in this race, in my opinion, and that is because the French horses have won this race 3 or 4 times before, owned by Qatar, who of course sponsor the meeting. They've put Frankie up. It's just obvious, isn't it?
Yeah.
They ring up the French trainers and go, "What have we got for this then?" And one of them goes,
It appears that way.
Yeah. Send this one over.
Oh, I wish we spoke French. Like, bonjour. What have we got in this then? And
But why this
Je
race?
suis un,
They've got lots of French finish.
merci.
Yeah.
But like Barry said, I mean, only
But
ran
they're
3
investing,
times.
aren't they? It's brilliant. They're clearly they're investing. That's the thing. They're investing over the course of time, aren't
Yeah.
they? So
And
it does pay off.
She's ran 3 times. She's 2 from 3. I mean, she's by See the Moon. She does. Yeah, she looks pretty special on paper.
I mean, in theory, she's got that 5 box should be perfect for her. The French raiders. She's got that little bit of extra stamina. In fact, if anything, the drop back to 7 is the question for her. But we could
Almost
see.
certainly wants softer ground, surely.
Yeah,
what about
possibly.
Benefit then? Clive Cox, Ryan
Yeah.
Moore on board.
Well, she beat a really decent group of sprinters at Salisbury on rattling fast ground, and ran into Sense of Duty on a penultimate start as well. Who could by this time next year be a Group 1 horse. So I think there's a lot to recommend. Last time that York race is looking good, isn't it? That Floaters race. Obviously Floaters is rock solid, but Gale Force Meyer was back in 3rd, came out and won the other day off a very big weight. It looks solid form. Box 14 though is a slight concern, but the track should be fine. It's going to take a bit of a Ryan Moore masterclass, I think, to get her up.
Okay, no, that's fair. That's fair. And everybody we've already mentioned about, like I say, she honestly hasn't done a lot wrong. She just found the rivals last time. I think ran more prominently, and she just couldn't get there. So
do you know what? Heredia needs Richard Hughes to come out of retirement. This is a Richard Hughes ride all over. All over. Richard Hannon, Glorious Goodwood, box 12 in a horse that ducks and weaves and goes. I mean, the way she went, it was like you'd hired a taxi and you were late for your plane at York, and she was going left, right, and centre. She was like, "I've got to get there as fast as possible."
In New York as well.
Exactly, straight down the hard shoulder, got up on the line. It's a bit of a classic Richard Hughes ride. So Sean Levy's going to have to really live up to those expectations, I think.
Well, should we just do another market check and maybe mention a few more? Because we haven't really mentioned Soft Whisper, for example. So Oscula for the very talented young George Bowie is, I think, about 5.8 there, 5.9. 6, sorry, here. Soft Whisper is 8.2. Sam Ran, the French filly, 9.4. Prima Betcha, 9.4. Benefit, 11.5. Hello, you. We go 16 bar. So, G-Rod, Soft Whisper, have you got an opinion or anything to say about Soft Whisper?
Yeah, I was at Chelmsford.
Derby?
Yeah, I was at Chelmsford.
You were at Chelmsford?
It's your local track, isn't it?
My local track, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
How can you not know that? Everyone knows
It's his
Chelmsford
local track.
is G-Rod's local track, surely.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's amazing. I don't know how you've managed to avoid
You've got to come
that
to the
fact.
pub more often.
Yeah.
In Chelmsford?
No.
I'm not going to Chelmsford.
It's not actually in Chelsea, it's just outside, but yeah, it's a nice place.
Well, anything south of Leicester is the south.
And
It's
me.
London and the south.
And me.
Chelmsford could be. It's over that way, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Depending on whether.
Told you,
where
I
the-
failed
where
my
the-
weather girl.
It's very
Yeah.
dry in Chelmsford, you know. It's like one of the driest places in Britain.
Yeah.
Is it? Along with
well.
Dorset.
Along with, yeah, Colchester's quite dry.
Hmm.
Anyway,
So all I heard there was it's dry in the south.
and it rains up north.
Yeah.
Yeah, one well, the Queen Charlotte Stakes, it was that day. It was Chelmsford's big race of the season, the big listed race. Thrash Bounce the Blues, who runs in this race as well. So I expect Soft Whisper will confirm that form with Bounce the Blues. It's one of those, you know, when you've like been at a course and you've seen it happen, then if it goes and wins, you sort of kick yourself a little bit, don't you?
Yeah,
As
and
if
five
you
from
should have, as if you should have
sure.
gone. There's something there.
there.
There's
Yeah,
something
I was
there, but
Yeah,
this is the race of nature. I mean, she's 5 from 8 in British races, so it kind of sticks out at you a little bit. But with this race, we can. That's what I mean. There's so many we can
If it was
make.
trained by Saeed Bin Sura, probably be after. Sorry, if it wasn't trained by Saeed Bin Sura and trained by Appleby, it'd probably be half the price. That happens a lot now, but Bin Sura's still got a bunch of good horses. Chelmsford form is also often underrated. Like the prize money. Talking about prize money, the prize money at Chelmsford is absolutely superb in comparison with a lot of other tracks, and as a result, they get a really good class of horse there. It's obviously only down the road from Newmarket as well, which is another plus. So the races at Chelmsford, although they're on the all-weather, are often very, very strong.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't surprise me if this was a strong race.
This is a Group 3 at Glorious Goodwood, and it is worth 11 grand less than that Chelmsford listed race.
Exactly. Amazing,
Yeah, I mean,
isn't it?
that's huge.
Insane, isn't it?
That's huge.
That is ridiculous.
£11,000.
And Chelmsford, and that was only 3 or 4 weeks ago, and 8 horses turned up, and only 2 were rated in triple figures.
Do the same people do it a little bit with like Nottingham? Like a lot, like I feel like Nottingham form has worked out really well for many different horses. We haven't got time to go through it all now, but I feel like some of these tracks, exactly what you say, it's kind of they're just sort of a bit discarded, but not at all, really.
No, the racing there is great, and the prize money's good. I think that
I've actually 50 to 1 shot out of that Chelmsford race in this.
Have you? Which is it?
Have you?
Yeah.
Improvised.
Come on.
It is She Do.
Improvised non-runner.
Improvised don't run. Yeah, She Do.
It's She Do, who...
So you're on She Do, Ross?
Yeah. Now, I've got... You see, you say about being at the track, I've got a bit of history. This horse, I would have won the Scoop 6 had she not got up to win by a short head at Newmarket on the 9th of October.
Ouch.
And so part of me hates her because of that reason. But she keeps running good figures. She's a listed winner, bizarrely still rated sub 100 off 98. She came from God knows where to win over 6 on that day, as I know full well as I watched the replay, and uttered a guttural scream as she got up on the line. She'd run a really nice race. You watched that Ascot race back before that she came out of it, which I then did to see where has this come from, and I thought, oh, actually, fair enough. She finished behind Thunder Beauty, who was placed in Group 2 company and won a listed race at Pontefract. Highfield Princess, who, as we know, is a Group 2 winner. Balance the Blues, who is in this race and is about 4 times shorter. And with thanks to William Haggis, who was second in a Group 2 at the back end of last season and hasn't been seen since. So she finished 5th in that race behind Group horses. She got up on the line to win a listed race. At Lingfield in that Group 3 behind Lola Showgirl, they went no pace whatsoever. The front runner made all, but a furlong from home, she came there, went practically odds on in running, and faded to finish 4th because she had to do all the running to get there. And last time out at Chelmsford, they went an absolute crawl out in front, and again, she did the same and stayed on late. She's drawn in box 6. She's an improving 4-year-old. If she handles the track, and that's a big if, because it's, it's a weird track, as we all know.
But you love her, though. Your pocket just hates her. I had the same with Rogue Spirit at Newbury. I was on for one try not to swear, of a multiple. And sadly, Rogue let me down. Now, I just wanted to say for people tuning in, it's interesting. Happy Craft here under Kieran Fallon. He's actually dismounted her and has decided to walk her down to the start. I don't think it will make a huge impact on the off race time because we are 14:21. This is off in 4 minutes time, but she's just buzzed up. She's circling round him. He's on the ground sort of leading her down. And Barry's pick, the French filly Samaran, is really calm, looking like really beautiful going down to start. So that is a bit of a pick there. And we do have another social. Charles Carter. I'm a huge fan of names with alliteration, by the way. It sounds so nice, doesn't it? Charles Carter. International Angles time.
Angels. Yeah.
International Angels time at Longchamp. Oh, right, was very quick. The French 1,000 guineas was fast by 0.8 versus 0.59 for International Angels. OK, sorry, I couldn't read the top line properly, but OK, that's very interesting. You're our speedster.
Yeah.
G-Rod.
Is he?
Are you looking?
He's our RPR man.
I'm very confused. I find, I don't know about what you think, Ross, but I find French times quite difficult to weigh up because...
Why is that?
So many races there are slowly run that the standard times are not always correct because every race is slowly run. So the standard time is based on slowly run races. And then suddenly you come to Longchamp for a big meeting and they run a proper race and they can dip miles under standard. And then you can give them a huge time figure, and then you can go actually realise that huge time figure is based on slowly run races for standard times.
Yeah, it's similar. It's like there's certain tracks. I don't know, Leicester, for example. They have that one listed race, don't they? And all the time you go, oh, that looks good, and you go, oh no, wait, it's because they're normally running class 5s and class 6s, so obviously the listed race stands out.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and
also she's a
also
massive price, isn't she, International Angel?
Yeah, I mean she's got a bit. I mean she was in that Chelmsford race. She was sent off 5-2 behind Soft Whisper at Chelmsford last time out. She's 66 to 1 here.
Yeah.
So.
So you ever seen that? On Sky Sports Racing, they have the excellent sectionals that come up. And it has red, yellow, green, dependent on. I think that's what it is, dependent on how fast the pace is.
Yeah.
And just to the exact point, what you're making at Lingfield. It is, on Champion on that day at Lingfield when they have the good race in there. Good Friday. The Champions meeting, whatever they call it. All weather finals day, that's it.
Yeah, all weather finals.
Every single race is red throughout the whole race because, of course, those sectional standards are based on
That makes sense.
weaker races. So when you get good horses turn up, they run quick sectionals throughout.
Okay. So the thing that I've done over the past few years is I only do 2 and 3 year old races normally because it's not enough time in the day.
Because they haven't got all the time in the world.
But have a spreadsheet of what I call upgrade races, where it's not it's not based on this was a good time. It is based on this was a good time for the grade, and I think that gets missed a lot because it takes a bit of digging to find. Because not only do you have to look at the standard time, you also have to compare it to the time to the rest of the card, to what you'd expect from that grade, and then versus everything else on that card to see whether they were better than the expected grade. It's quite a lot of work unless you get into a rhythm for it.
It absolutely must be.
So
right.
I think that's really helped because then you're not looking at the races that are, like you said, some races. Of course, you get a good time for a listed race when it's normally one of class 4s. But when do you get the class 4 that's better than all the other class 4s? They're the ones.
Look, you are. It's a really interesting point, and we have someone in agreement with our very own Dave Orson here, Matthew Samuel. Great to hear from you. Expecting a massive run from Honey Sweet. I'm confident she'll reverse her form with Oscula in this. Well, they are. You'll be pleased to know down at the start, circling on. Kieran Fallon is now on board the filly that he was walking down calmly, and she's gone in really nicely, actually. Happy Craft. Heridia looked really nice in the prim release. Barry, should we have a quick last sort of market check just as I start to load?
Oscula is probably the best backed horse of the week so far. She's been really, really well supported. Better the high on the exchange of 12, which is 11-1. She's into 7-2 now. Heridia 5.4. 8-8 Soft Whisper, Prima Baggio Friend, let's say to 12-5. Samaran coming in for some support into 7. And it's 17 bar Benefit for Ryan Moore, who he gives a very favourable mention to in his blog on betting.betfair.
Right.
That's 17.5.
I'll just throw in one at big price. Miss Caroline, I thought would go really well. Last time at Newmarket.
Yes.
She came from last to win a small field race. I thought she quickened up really, really smartly. She's got a wide draw, but she'll definitely be dropping in here, Ross, won't she, from stall 11. Soft Whisper, it's going to be interesting. Soft Whisper is the front runner in the race, you would have thought. But she's drawn right on the wide outside. So is Billy Buick, I think Billy Buick's on it, is he? Maybe
Marco
not.
Ghiani's on this one.
Marco Ghiani.
So is Marco Ghiani. Is he?
Yeah.
Maybe, I wonder if Marco Ghiani is going to be sort of blasting out and then trying to get across to that rail. Because 7 furlong course at Goodwood is notoriously, you need to be drawn low, don't you? You've got to be on that inside rail. It's a tight bend.
Yeah.
Well, that's not so bad in the first few days when they've got that cutaway. Because if you do drop in, you've got the cutaway, it all opens up. It gets really messy on front.
Sandrine yesterday was that there was 3 or 4 in front. Kim Ross switched to the inside, Seiko to the outside. Sandrine had that perfect little sit in the bubble. And that's where you want to be, really.
Yeah, she was good yesterday, Sandrine.
Here's a stat for you, Nat.
Go on.
2006 was the last time a horse won this race coming into it off the back of a win.
What?
And that was Red Evie in 2006. Which tells you all...
They're a bit excited, these fillies. Is that Benefit, Barry, that we can see?
Getting really
Benefit's
upset.
getting really upset in the store. She's kicking out. We do have another social from... I think we just do say Jesus.
The Monty Roberts Rogue just went for a Burton there.
And she's out. Not out of the race. She's flown out of the stalls, Benefit, just to let you know. Number 10, Benefit. Imagine they'll try and reload her. She's got a bit flighty. Jesus says, Symphony Perfect each way. Lovely to hear from you. Yeah, Symphony Perfect.
I think between us and everyone on the chat...
We've mentioned every runner.
Everyone, but that's that kind of race, isn't it?
It is that kind of race. Simply
Primo
Perfect.
Baggio, we have to mention.
Yeah, but Simply Perfect listed score over 6 furlongs, which handy and not disgrace, of course, at York in that Group 3. But let's just go over our picks again. We know Barry's here, number 16, Samaran, the French filly. She do for Ross.
Yep.
Heridia, I like. And G-Rod, do we have a bit of a firm pick? Or
Miss Caroline.
Thank you, Miss Caroline. Let's hope they are going in, but they're being a bit sassy, I'm allowed to say. I think some of these...
It looks like Benefit might be going back in. I don't see Ryan Moore making any effort to get back on her just yet.
No, I totally agree, Barry. Benefit's just being held stationary. Ryan Moore's on the floor.
That should affect the makeup of the race. Benefit.
Oh my God, he's
There
so
you go.
good, this guy. That should affect the makeup. Benefits a makeup brand.
Oh, right. Okay.
I mean, Ross, you're good. You're very good.
Oh, yeah, but no one.
And that's Bounce the Blues going in. I think Barry's right. I think we're looking like we're going.
Yeah, withdrawn.
Yeah, withdrawn.
It's withdrawn.
Thank you. Benefits
there's
withdrawn.
the
Oscula
hideous
now,
white
what,
Friday.
4
All money back.
All money back. Right, Ross, over to you because they are in. We're all going to have a little go though.
Who's going to get that early
Good
peach of a
luck.
position? That is the question. And they're off. Oof. And International Angel starts well. Miss Caroline starts well. Oscular is shot from the boxes under old Billy Buick and goes to lead down this inside rail. Soft Whisper, as we predicted. Marco Gianni actually making quite an easy time of it over to this this leading position. Oscular on the inside. Honey Sweet, Dave Orton's tip. He's got a lovely position. If anything, Honey Sweet's got the best pitch in the race. Maybe Primo Baccio behind those, but Soft Whisper has somehow managed to cross over from that wide draw and get the absolute peach of a position there, and Marco Gianni's done wonders.
He has. Yeah, I mean, Miss Caroline's got right across as well, which is a bonus for me. Right on Soft Whisper's shoulder. Can't say that name.
No,
Soft
it's
Whisper.
difficult, I know. And Jim Crowley got
Billy
a
Buick.
terrible break from the stalls there on Ali Ali here, and really still up at the rear. But they are slightly bunched together. These sort of top four poised together. Soft Whisper for Marco Gianni is right there in those blue colours. And who's shumming along there? Is that Miss Caroline who?
Here comes
looks a bit
International Angel down
there.
the outside. This is one of our picks from the emails.
Yeah.
What's the market say, Barry?
International's taken it over.
It's clear.
Heredi is coming from the back as well. Rowan missed, but International Angel has hit the front and is careering away. Oscular's trying to pick up. Hello You's trying to pick up as well. The French filly's not getting in there, but it could well be Oscular.
Unlucky
International
loser.
Angel, Oscular, International Angel and Oscular, but International Angel's pulling out more. Oscular on the line. Oscular's got it. Oscular has got it on the line. William Buick on the double.
Wow.
Our viewer at home will be screaming.
But well done to our social, though, on International Angels. Oh, thank goodness that we gave a big enough plug for her. But on the line.
Gamble landed. Landed.
Woo!
Yeah.
Said it. She's one of the best back horses of the week so far. International Angel runner-up matched a low of 1.50, just 1 to 2. Frankie's, it happens every year, doesn't it? In Goodwood, you have these hard luck stories, but Frankie stopped riding in the last 100 yards just to take the luck off it.
Yeah.
It looks a certainty beat for my money on the French filly.
Yeah.
Which was disappointing.
Okay. Yeah.
Samarin.
Yeah. No, we've got that there. But yeah, Oscular then, and we've given a big up to the young trailer. Like I say, if we just watch the replay now, there was a couple that broke slowly. I always said Jim Crowley's map broke slowly, but the other ones sort of prominent, like you said before, they sort of pretty much stayed there, didn't they? And battled it. I love these drone shots, don't you? Where you can see them there going around the bend, bunched together and getting up a bit of a pace up the hill.
Yeah, the draws really helped Billy Buick, hasn't it? There, I mean, he was drawn in stall 2. The others have had to work to come across, get their positions. Billy's just been able to sit there in behind them, nicely poised, and delivered the winner right on the line. Yeah, Frankie's had an absolute nightmare on the French filly.
See now, Frankie.
She would have won that race, I think, with a clear run.
Well, she's second last coming into this
She's
race.
second last now, like Ross says,
and Adam Kirby has surely gone far too soon on this International Angel, has he not? Should he? He's kicked on a long way out, has he not?
Yeah, maybe, but he's got beaten a nose, hasn't he? So it's a tough one, isn't it? She was 66 to 1 or whatever.
If he hangs on to her, she surely wins, don't she? International Angel.
What a cracking each way bet, though, hey?
Oh,
yeah,
great!
Which is the worst thing you could ever say to someone.
Frankie had got a gap when he needed it. He'd have won a minute.
Oh, Frankie would have won with a clear run.
Absolutely, Barry. Absolutely.
It's another Frankie shocker, isn't it?
Stops riding in the last 100 yards because he knows. Listen, it's only gonna make me look worse if I'm only beat a half an length here or a neck.
So he's kind of gone. I'm just going to settle for a solid.
It's just, and it's not his fault. There's just nothing you can do about it. He went for the cutaway. That was his plan. But everyone else had the same idea, so he just couldn't get a run. Like, I'm not blaming Frankie. That's Goodwood, folks. Yeah. That's what you get.
No, you're right. And Barry, it's not like there's just him. You've got all the other horses in the way. If you've got that plan and you can't make it happen, there really is not an awful lot you can do about it. Where'd you go? You can't just wallop into other horses.
I think maybe that's why Adam Kirby did what he did, because he was like, look, I've got two options here.
Yeah, okay, this is interesting.
Either get in a mess or I kick on and sometimes
hope.
Yeah, and hope. And he was kind of stuck 3 wide going into the home bend as well. So I think he was potentially hoping that everything in behind him would get in each other's way, which to a certain extent they did.
Which to a certain extent they did, and he was only beating a nose, to be fair. So actually, was that the worst place to be? Probably not, because the horse got a clear run and he had a clear chance at it. But look at Oscula here finishing. She's finishing full of it.
4,000 guineas.
Full of it. Still right on the bridle.
You know that Dave Orton loves those, so I'm absolutely amazed that he tipped Honey Sweet instead. Why isn't Honey Sweet?
Yeah, what did happen to Honey Sweet? Replay's gone off now, I can't see.
It's a good tip, wasn't it?
Well, he's bet Honey Sweet off the Oscula form, probably, as well, from Carlisle.
Sorry for coughing.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Which Oscula's now run 4 times since then. And that was only the 22nd of June, so...
Well, she only ran 4 days ago. We saw her at Ascot when I was on the Hoppy Live on Saturday.
Yeah, real
and
quick.
she was beaten a nose by Jumbly.
When William Buick went too soon on Oscula.
Yeah, you could definitely argue that, couldn't you?
So, I think what we can always come to agree on is that every faction, everything has to fall in place on the day, because the factions are just massive, aren't they? The draw... The ground, the cutaway, this.
We don't have this argument too often about jump races, do we?
No.
You know, jump races, they just go out, they have a race, and you know they go around at a good pace, and there's a lot less of this, you know, troubling running, draw, jockey going too soon. It just doesn't happen so often over jumps.
No, it doesn't. Frizzy Red, it's nice to hear from you, and you're making a good point here, Frizzy. I think the best horse was the French filly. International Angel got first run on her, and look how well she finished. Yeah, I mean, I think Barry would have been kissing this cup virtually through the screen, but sadly didn't quite go to plan. There wasn't really anywhere to go. Frankie didn't get the best run there, but that's racing for you. The results are the results. And Oscula gives Billy Buick a continually good Goodwood so far. Now, what time?
That's going to stick, that Billy Buick. And someone's going to see him someday and say, "Hiya, Billy, how are things?" And he's very impressed.
Barry,
it's not going to be a happy Billy.
You're right, sure. Barry. You're right, because we now are all just saying Billy Buick.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not going to go down well.
G-Rod's to blame for that, and he's leaving the country tomorrow.
I know, and everyone's going, "Why? Oh God, what does Chappers call
Johnny G?
Johnny G.
Yeah.
Johnny G.
It'll be Johnny G and Billy Buick. It's like an Enid Blyton book.
Here's Johnny G and Billy Buick. Oh my goodness.
Oh dear.
We started something here.
Billy Buick in his short trousers and his braces, wreaking havoc down the rail. It's that Billy Buick. He's at it again.
Conjures some image.
Oh dear.
His catapult sticking up out of his breeches.
Yeah, he's blocked all the sinks in the toilets again. In the weighing room, it's Billy Buick wreaking havoc.
Can we do?
We could
comic,
do our own.
Yeah.
We should get in contact with Jilly Cooper and let's do another horse
I'm
race.
not sure it's I mean, that's taking it down a different path.
God, my brain. Sorry, viewers.
I don't think Jilly Cooper and Enid Blyton had
tone.
too much in common in regards to their plots. Slightly different, perhaps.
I'm always here.
Billy Buick's up the magic faraway tree rather than anything else.
I'm always here to lower the tone, but yes. Billy Buick, Dickie Johnson. God, goodness me, we can keep going. Dickie Bird is in the next. Dickie Bird. The next race we're looking at is over 20 minutes away, so do have lots of time for nattering and chatting. So please do.
You can have a natter with Nat.
Get chatty with Natty. No, that sounds too provocative. Have a chat with Nat.
Yeah. You can't help it, Nat,
Have
can
a
you?
chat with Nat. Is it 50p a minute? Is it?
Dial in. Let's get chatty with Natty. I don't mind. I'm unoffendable, pretty much.
Sounds like a challenge, but
sounds
maybe
like
for
a
later.
challenge. Yeah, don't now just basically start abusing me. That'd be very mean. Hurt my feelings. I'm only keeping the seat warm for Dave Orton. He's back in on Friday, and the action keeps coming thick and fast at Glorious Goodwood, because we've got loads to look forward to. A bit of a Fillies Day, Fillies and Mares Day tomorrow.
I thought
of
you
course,
said it's Billy's Day then. Yeah, I was going to say it is Billy's Day.
Yeah.
There are 2 winners out of 2 so far.
It's Billy's Day.
Yeah, it is
Billy's Day today.
Yep.
Billy's Day tomorrow. But the NASA, of course, got to look forward to. Friday, we've got that Gold Mile, which looks great. Start laughing. Saturday, the Stewards Cup. Now that's going to be great racing. We said yesterday about the liquidity. The liquidity is massive at Goodwood. It's fantastic.
Right.
Barry was saying, it's brilliant. And obviously, then it can build up to the Saturday. I'm here in the studio, but not in this seat in one of those. So I don't know who's on the digits on Saturday, but G-Rod's leaving us. He's off to Canada. George Bowes being interviewed right now in shot. He looks pretty happy. Like I say, he's doing a very good job. Learnt well from Hugo Palmer's. Big day for
It's
him.
a big day for him. Yeah,
That's what I
yeah.
was saying. Very
But
big.
that's the
And
thing.
tomorrow, who you mal?
Yeah.
What was that, Barry?
Uyamal, yeah.
Who you mal?
He trains.
Oh, yeah, of course,
Uyamal,
yeah.
Yeah, but I think that he's pretty much the best trainer in Britain, is he not, George Baaeed, already? If he's not already, he's going to be.
You don't concur with Ross's 10 years, 10,000 hours,
Well, I think it is.
earlier,
I think that.
which you did concur with at the time, I think.
Well, I think, but every rule has an exception, and I think that's why you need to be looking at George Baaeed. I think because everyone else takes so long to get the hang of it, and he's finished his GCSEs and he's straight in.
6 years is quite a long time to be assistant trainer.
Yeah.
6, and he basically managed the 50 horses off Hugo's satellite yard. So he kind of single-handedly was really training that satellite yard. So
Yeah, but now he's taken the licence out and he's making Hugo Palmer look like he was his assistant.
yeah. I wouldn't have him over Haggis yet.
Haggis is very good, yeah.
If I'm honest.
Charlie Appleby, obviously. Yeah, but he's great. And the great thing about him, the reason I like him
Sat
so
there
much.
looking livid at the
Oh,
lot of you.
yeah, we've absolutely
Uncle
just
John, sorry.
totally binned
Yeah.
off Uncle John. I mean, you're
Uncle John,
related
yeah.
to him. We haven't even
Uncle John.
mentioned him.
And don't forget
Stousy.
Cousin Thady either. He's part of the partnership.
Cousin
now.
Thady.
But George Baaeed, the great thing about George Baaeed at the moment is the market's not really all over him either, is it? It's not like when Charlie Appleby has a runner
Yeah.
and he goes off short. When George Baaeed has a runner, you still get a good price on them, particularly his 2-year-olds.
Yeah.
He's just very good, and the market isn't onto him yet, I don't think.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I met him years and years ago at Doncaster when he was really, really young, and he impressed me then. Social Corner, MG193. Barry is a great tipper. Says his opinion, reasons for his bets. Also won a lot for the charity on the show. We couldn't agree more.
Barry's mum's been on.
We-
Hi, Mrs. Orr.
If it is, it's from the grave, if she has.
Great. We start laughing and then,
Wow.
God. Barry's biggest fan has come. Barry is a great tipper. He got the double yesterday and of course he makes a good case. That's why he's Betfair Barry, for goodness sake. And this is great to showcase Betfair. I don't know about you. I know, Ross, you use Betfair all the time, but since I've been on this show, I honestly just learned so much, and to be able to see it live and have it all on the screen, I just think it's awesome for people tuning in because they can actually get to understand. And we've got the new things like lengthen your odds, which I'm obsessed with. I think I love that when you can pick the length they're going to win by. I mean, Barry was saying yesterday when Keith Melrose in that situation when you can bet how much by, you've got to be on the right horse. Baaeed, in a sense, isn't the best horse for that because he doesn't always win by far. So you have to kind of pick the right horse for that type of bet.
Yeah, Baaeed as well. Like the international's only 3 weeks away, 2.5 weeks away. So like he's not going to get a hard race, I wouldn't imagine. So he's not one that I'd be putting in there as well. He's odds on for 1, 2, 3. I think those distances over 1, 2 or 3 lengths are all odds on. No, but this race here, Rocket Rodney, I think is one that primed for lengthen your odds on the Betfair Sportsbook. It's very hard to see past Rocket Ronnie here, really. He's renting even money on the exchange. He's currently 2.12 on the exchange, but obviously his second to Little Big Bear was a decent run in the Windsor Castle, and Little Big Bear has come out and won the Group 2 Anglesey since in the Curragh. The form is stacking up. Eddie's Boy, who was third and reopposes here, has gone on and won the Super Sprint. I've Eddie's Boy, obviously, in the Each Way Lucky 15. It's the dead 8 for that as well. So fingers crossed there. We've won place so far in that. But I just thought Rocket Rodney, I just can't see what's going to beat him. And in the lengthen your odds market, for Sportsbook, please, Ross,
Let's have a look.
to win by
Rocket Rodney.
Yeah, to win by a length or more at 13-8, I think is the one we're going to go for here. So a length or over, Rocket Rodney 13-8. We'll have 25 quid on that.
Like it.
It's a really popular feature on the Betfair Sportsbook now, lengthen your odds, and it's something that I think a race like this, the makeup of this race, is suited to this market. You could bet without the favourite as well, and you can bet each way in it because, like I said, there's the dead 8.
You've got an odds boost here, Barry. It says you've got an odds boost. You want an odds boost?
Of course I want an odds boost. Take anything we can get
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
charity, Ross. You have to ask.
There you go. Well,
No,
you know,
good. Yeah.
7-4, is it?
7-4 it is.
It's
7
also
to
just a
4.
brilliant name, lengthen your odds. But I'm with you, Barry. I even got my scissors out before, my terrible cutting skills. I loved the quote here for Rocket Rodney by George Scott saying, mentally, he's rock solid. I don't think I have a more chilled horse in the whole yard. The prelims won't be an issue for him whatsoever, and he's got a turn of foot. It will be most lethal. I really like that article in the Racing Post, hence why I cut it out. I also can't see him getting beaten, but it's a fascinating race, and I also very much enjoyed reading about your Wallbank and Eddie's boy piece in the paper. So why don't you talk us through Wallbank?
Oh yeah, I forgot I'd actually written that.
It's
I think I
brilliant.
wrote that on Sunday
It's
or Monday.
brilliant.
I thought that the favourite
Easter
would
Sunday, I
lose.
think it was. Isn't it?
I thought the favourite would get beat here. Yeah, I thought he was too short. Well, I wouldn't say, I definitely think he's going to get beat, but I definitely think he's too short. George Scott and Daniel Muscat, not really the sort of trainer and jockey you would expect to be.
You just tried to combine two words
Owner
there.
and trainer and jockeys.
Prisonerism.
You'd expect to be sending off an even money favourite in the Molecombe, and I thought that Eddie's Boy would reverse the places of this horse. I thought Eddie's Boy improved to win the Super Sprint last time. I know that he's been behind him a couple of times. I like Wallbank, obviously. Ross and I loved him for Royal Ascot. And he was a little bit disappointing, wasn't he, Ross? We thought that he would definitely win that race. And the Riddler, the 50-1 outsider.
Yeah.
I think for
Don't
me,
beat him.
he gunned him a bit too soon there.
Rosser.
With a bit of restraint, I think with a bit of restraint, he could have done what the Riddler did almost and powered through at that point. He obviously has a lot of early speed, but yeah, he went a bit too hard for my liking there.
Ross, I've got a challenge for you. Seeing as we're on, Billy Buick and all this stuff. So G-Roll was trying to combine the words trainer and jockey. So we could think of one word for trainer and jockey. It needs to be one word, but using those two words. It's a great combination.
I see, right.
Like
okay,
trainer,
okay,
jockey.
like a
So I'll
trainer.
leave it with you,
All right,
because
yeah,
you're
I'll come back to that.
absolutely excellent at things like that.
Yeah, really useful things. What was that?
Trainee, yeah.
A trainee.
A trainee.
Barry, I'm laughing as well because Ross and I did this show together during lockdown, and one of our fun features was the best aptly named horses by the sire and the dam, and I was literally coming out with Ross was
You were coming out with the most obvious.
yeah. So I couldn't think of an example now. I was coming out with.
Galileo Gold, that kind of thing
right.
is what
So
you
I
were
was
coming
coming
out
out
with.
with Galileo Gold, and Ross was coming out with all these amazing meanings, and this means grey moon of the sun of the old Indian that used to be part of this tribe, and then I was like, what? And I was literally just going if a horse was by Oscar and it was called Oscar Wilde, I was like, that's a brilliant name, by Oscar, and Ross was like, no, Nat, you've totally missed this. So jockey trainer, I'm leaving that to
Whereas
you.
I was going, I think
Galileo Gold's not by Galileo.
No, I know, which
right.
makes it even worse, doesn't it? it's not even. If it was by Galileo, you'd go, it's boring but understandable. But it's as if someone's gone, what?
Barry, I'll have
we
to.
bought a Bowie.
We'll have to find the clip. I must send it to you on time. It was just,
Yeah, 'cause it was
and I
me just looking
so
at you going, what a
proud of everything I picked, and Ross was just shaking his head saying, "You've missed this, Nat, completely." But can we go through a few, because it's not a big field, so there's only 8 really to talk about. Barry's made the case of Rocket Rodney, which I absolutely.
Can I just say, by the way,
Graphics boys have put my wrong tip up. Look.
Oh,
That's not what I'm tipping.
you're tipping
Eddie's Boy.
You're tipping Eddie's Boy.
No, I'm not tipping Eddie's Boy.
What
who are you tipping? Wallbank.
No, I'm tipping Trillium.
What?
Oh, you haven't mentioned it. That's why.
What are you on about?
I like to keep everyone in suspense.
G-Rod, you
it's quite
foxed
often.
me.
Yeah.
I thought you were Wallbank all the way.
I
Can I just say, by the way,
like
just
Wallbank.
quick, George Scott, 2-year-old racers, Class
Wallbank
1,
Wednesday.
2 wins from 13 runners, 1.2 actual versus expected. So actually, it's pretty. He's not had that many. He's had
Hold
another
on,
bat.
you need
James
to. I
Garfield.
feel like I've just been in a washing machine with numbers. Please say it again more slowly. George Scott.
Basically, George Scott, with 2-year-olds in Class 1 races, has a pretty good record. He hasn't had many. He's had Rocket Rodney. He's had James Garfield, of course. Another bat hit the frame a couple of times. So it's actually not a bad record.
Thanks, boys. Look.
Okay, but you're on Trillium.
But you're on Trillium.
Yeah, no, he was good last time. Richard Hannon trains him. Richard Hannon does all right in this sort of race. He won it last year, of course.
He did.
With Armour.
Yes.
And his dad won it quite a few times, most recently with Brown Sugar, I think. And just thought it was interesting that he was relying on Trillium. He was very, very impressive when winning last time out. We don't know how good he is, but the time was okay, the sections were decent, and he's a good price. So
Okay.
Trillium.
Well, let's have a little look here. Rocket Rodney 2.12, Wallbank is 5.7 there. Eddie's Boy 8.2, Trillium 9.2, Studio City 11, Thundermore 50. Looking for Linda is 65 and Dicky Bird at 95. I think that's 95. So shall we go? Well, we can. I mean, the outsiders then.
There's one we're talking about. Craig Ruddock flags it up on in the comments there. Studio City, that's been bought by Al Shakab from Michael O'Callaghan.
Yeah.
Now, he was odds on last day, but he absolutely scooted in. Ryan Moore rides him. Hilltop Gold finished second to him in Navan, and the ground was like this. He's won by 6 lengths last day.
Yeah.
And obviously sold, like Ross was mentioning earlier before the previous race, that Al Kebab. Can you believe I called him that one day live on television? Al Kebab.
That's brilliant.
I'm sure that went down well.
Yeah, I'm sure it did. They like to have plenty of runners at this meeting that have chances, and it's an interesting proposition in a race where any one of them could take a massive step forward. We'd say it all week, and all the time about these 2-year-old races. You know, any of them could take a step forward, but he's an interesting one for Michael O'Callaghan.
No, he is. 9,002, like you said, Irish Colt. Kotai Glory. I don't.
Yeah, he won this race, Kotai Glory, and Michael O'Callaghan.
He's the one who chucked his. Who should have won the Flying Childers as well, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he was.
George Baker.
Yeah, that's right. George Baker
Was shipped after it jinked. He was very quick.
Yeah, he was fast.
Well, there you go. So, no, I've got this down as very... Look, he's interesting with a star next to, so it's good to point out. We do have another social, though. Stephen Loftus. Trillium will need a Spencer-type ride here. Pulled hard both starts. Not sure the right jockey is on today. Now,
don't worry about that, Stephen, because they're going to go like the clappers here.
Yeah, so here's that's the thing we have to mention here. Wallbank, front runner. Eddie's Boy, front runner. Studio City, front runner. Thundermore, front runner. Looking for Linda, front runner. Dicky Bird, front runner.
So blink and this is over. Like,
that leaves
boom.
Rocket Rodney and Trillium looking for a gap. One of those two.
Right.
And it happened at last year with Armour. It happened with Steel Bull a couple of years ago. It happened with Liberty Beach. They go so quick.
So in 9 minutes we'll find out, and the race will take about
50
before we've
seconds.
mentioned
50
every horse.
seconds.
50 odd seconds.
Yeah, we'll do well to mention every horse in running, I think, before they finish.
Yeah.
That's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just straight down here as well. That Goodwood 5 furlong course, like that's the crest of the hill. They run straight down it. They'll go bonkers here. There's no way that Trillium will be pulling. And if he's pulling, I'll be amazed because well, how
is he going to pull
how
against?
Can he pull if they're just going to go? They're just going to go. That's all it's going to be. It's just going to be a sprint.
Yeah, and we do have another social from Will. Nice to hear from you, Will. Rocket Rodney, the nap of the week for me, just miles better than these just wins. Yeah, look, we like opinions with confidence. That's what it's all about. I do actually agree with you. We're not all in agreement, which makes it the more exciting. Trillium for G-Rod, Rocket Rodney for Barry and I. And what are you on, Ross? You got?
Yeah, I think Rocket Rodney will win as well.
Yeah. Rocket Rodney.
Dragon Stakes winners as well in this. 4 from 12 with another 6th placing is a perfect prep for this contest. Super Sprint winners 1 from 8.
Yeah.
Super Sprint horses being beaten 3 from 33. But it was back 2004 Tornados. I think was it Whitcliffe? The Millmans had a really speedy 5 furlong horse a few years ago as well. But yeah, the Dragon. It's Royal Ascot Dragon Stakes.
Yeah.
Morecambe is now quite a well-trodden
And then
path.
that's why it makes even more interesting with Studio City. I'm pretty excited to see Studio City, honestly, because I don't know. I mean, Barry said like that Navan win. It really was. It was really something, that 6 length.
O'Callaghan trained Steel Bull, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he obviously won this.
91 Breaking Year maiden for a 2-year-old's not too bad, is it? Albeit on your 3rd start.
Yeah, it was third. But I think Steel Bull have a couple of runs under his belt. I think might have done. Who's Craig Lidster when he's at home? Trains Dicky Bird.
Yeah.
I thought one of my 2 northern friends might know, seeing as he trains in Yorkshire.
I'm afraid.
Has he taken over from someone recently? He's only had 54 runners, 3 winners, 6% strike rate so far. But
I read an interview
don't know
with him
anything
the other day.
about him.
Let's have a look.
I don't know an awful lot. I mean, nicely bred, isn't it?
He
Dickie
was
Bird?
a fledgling conditional jockey with Brian Ellison, second travelling head lad for Richard Fahey, before breaking in younger horses and pre-training, and now he's taken out a licence.
So he's not taken over from anyone in specific, just breaking out on his own.
I hope someone. These are the best like TV interviews, aren't they? You know, you want to get people like Craig and just find out, you know, a bit more, because actually it is really interesting.
It'll be his biggest day, won't it?
Absolutely.
So
This
far,
horse, they sent it to Newcastle in a 6 foot. It's a classic case of watching. You know, when you watch back a replay or something and you go, "Oh, that'll be interesting next time out," and you click on it and you go, "Oh, it's already won."
Yes.
It happens all the time. And it went hell for leather over 6 furlong, and at the furlong pole was still in front and got beat 15.5 lengths. It went so fast for 5 furlongs that the sixth furlong it was so tired it stopped. So we know exactly what he's going to do here, and understandable.
Quite interesting, isn't it? Because Cracksman is the sire.
Yeah, that's what I just said. It's really interesting actually. But it is nice now that the horses are making their way down to place. God, Danny Muscat, he's so elegant. Danny Muscat is like a ballerina on a horse. I'm just saying that, not just because he is. He's so elegant. He's so tall, and his balance is absolutely magical. Looking at them go down so far, Studio City seriously catches the eye. God, what a good-looking horse. Dickie Bird, he's a little bit keen going down, nothing to worry about. Looking for Linda, sort of really had her head right down, pulling along. So she looks like she wants to get on with
Ready
things.
to go.
Which we've already covered, haven't we? They're not going to be hanging around. They're sort of at the 2 furlong mark.
I think is the official. They're not messing around here.
Oh yeah, when you did the thing earlier.
The what?
They're not messing around here.
Oh.
I would really like it. This would be my plea to racing authorities. Do you remember when you used to go racing years ago? Now, I don't know how far we're going back now, but they always used to start the race, and then someone would come over the tunnel and go, "And they're under starters' orders, and they're off."
Yeah.
Now that doesn't happen, does it? The commentator just says they're off, and then he starts commentating. Can we not have that bloke back?
Well, they brought it to pay him.
I used to love it, you know. But I mean, it's
There's
just
too much racing now. He can't get.
Yeah, you can't. There's not enough time.
It's so hard for him to drive. He was like, "I've got to get to Yarmouth in 15 minutes."
just to say,
Yeah.
I'm under starters' orders, and they're off. But you almost did it on the last one.
Yeah.
So I think you should do it.
I think you should do it for this one.
Just to satisfy me.
I think you should do it.
Fair enough. Anything for you, Graeme.
Thank you.
Satisfy me.
Anything for you.
Rocket Rodney's still in pictures on our racing TV screens, not surprisingly, because he looks a picture. He really does, cantering away lovely down to the start. So they are all making their way down. Look at the 4 furlongs.
Dickie Bird was an umpire in cricket, wasn't he?
He was.
Very famous umpire in cricket.
Yeah, even I've heard of that.
Yeah.
My cricket knowledge wouldn't be great. I do like golf though. So quick look then back at the market. Rocket Rodney 2.14, Wall Bank we've got 5.7, Eddie's Boy we've got 7.8, Trillium 8.8, Studio City 12.5, Thundermore 50, Looking for Linda 65, Dickie Bird 70. 70, just changed as I spoke. Who have we got in pictures now? We've got Woolbank.
Yeah, he's interesting. He is interesting.
By Cody, it looks like a Kodiak, doesn't he?
He's clearly a very.
It's got a lovely bottom.
Well.
Very strong.
Yeah.
See, I like that. So I think, I got asked the other day what you look for with different. I said, well, it depends what do you look for on a flat horse. Like, well, that's not a question. If it's 2 mile, I like it to be leggy, rangy, cover the ground. If it's a sprinter, I want an absolute pocket rocket with a massive arse and a big heart. That's it, isn't it?
Well,
that is the key.
He's got a small head, hasn't he?
Yeah, God, I think
Or
some
is it just-
Kodiaks do.
Right.
He's quite.
So, oh no, it was ears, wasn't it, that Henry Cecil used to say?
Oh,
Yeah.
I love
Yeah,
big ears.
He used to say
Honest.
big ears was,
Honest
was a good
horse.
sign in a horse.
Big ears, big eyes. You don't want like piggy eyes. You can't trust humans really.
I tell you what, if you like big ears, a big heart, and a big bum, I'm your man. That I got them all. I got them all. Not got a small head though. Not a Kodiak.
I've got the big bum.
There you go. Can't wear a hat. Sorry.
Have I got big ears and I've got small ears?
Who knows?
Like you, G. You're just big bear.
Just big, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably be a slow stayer.
Has Trillium for you in view? Any opinion? Trillium looking nice and stripped
Yeah.
up, nice and fit.
She's really interesting. It's interesting they've gone for this. there's not a scrap of fat on her.
No, really stripped.
Look at that. That is
very,
lean.
very stripped.
Just going to win, Ross.
Well, since she was a little bit slowly away on debut, which I assume was greenness, and then at Newbury last time out, she was taking 2 steps of every horse's one. It was so smooth. It was a pretty good figure for the 2-year-old races this year. I think it's been fairly simple to. If you just rate them through what they did in their maiden and their novice, it's like when you win your maiden and your novice, that as a 2-year-old, that's you. That's your ability. That is your raw ability.
Yeah.
And on my numbers, it should be Rocket Rodney beating Wallbank with Trillium 3rd and Studio City 4th. That should be the
okay. Well,
the
that
1, 2, 3, 4.
we've got you. And Barry, when does anything happen now with the market? Like now they're down at the start, and we're not too far away. I mean, I know in running is when all the action goes on, but is there anything to note, any changes just in this preliminary bit?
It's quite a mature market now, as you say. They're milling around at the start, but if something was to have not taken the trip down to the start particularly well, then you could see a change in the market. But at the moment, Rocket Ronnie very strong, 2.14, 5.2 Wallbank. Eddie's Boys come in for some support into 6.6, and it's 10 bar.
Okay, and which one's being stubborn? Is that
Eddie's Boy, by the way.
Is that Eddie's Boy being a bit stubborn?
He needs a few handlers to shove him in.
The stall handlers saying,
he needs those big burly French blokes.
Yeah. He's basically saying, look, I won 98 grand for you 11 days ago. Can I not have a holiday?
Can I go to bed?
Can I just have a little bit of time off? But yeah, he's run well all season, hasn't he?
He's gone in.
Yeah, I know he's gone in. There was no problem. He's just, getting the.
He's the pace angle here, isn't he? Eddie's Boy gives Rocket Ronnie something to aim at again.
He's one of. They're all pace angles, aren't they?
Yeah,
He's going to. He's really interesting from one.
You want to be going very fast to lead him, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So we've got 3 more left to load. So we've got Trillium left to go in. We've got Dicky Bird left to go in. I think. Sorry, it's a little hiccup there. I think Thunder Moore has gone in nicely. We've got Danny Tudhope on Thunder Moore. Trillium is now taking a step forward under Pat Dobbs to be, I think, the final filly to load. She's nicely bred, isn't she? Is No Nay Never filly. And she's going in, and Ross is doing a fine job for us, so he's going to try and get that one-liner in. So I'm going to be quiet and we go over to Rossi Ross.
There we go.
Under understarters orders.
You've gone too soon.
And they're off. They're off and racing for the Morecambe 2022, and they're all very quickly away. Rocket Rodney is almost so quick that Daniel Muscat's saying, where's all this pace supposed to be? Thundermore leading them up. We've also got Dicky Bird as well. Eddie's Boy is looking for company on the wide outside. Looking for Linda's been a little bit restrained and has got a little bit of a chance, but it's Rocket Rodney who's odds on in the run, has got a nice position behind Thundermore. They're not going as quick as we thought they were necessarily. They've got 6 of them. Studio City's a little bit outpaced. Wallbank's given a ride as well. Trillium's catching the way she travels. But it's Rocket Rodney who's coming through with a big challenge. Rocket Rodney still on the bridle. Wallbank switches to the centre. Trillium looking for a gap. Eddie's Boy still in front. Rocket Rodney hits the front. Wallbank coming out of the pack down the middle. Trillium looking for a gap as well. Stays 6 furlongs. Can she pick it up? Rocket Rodney, Trillium, Wallbank, Trillium down the rail. Trillium getting up to Trevor Richard, Hannah, Pat Dobbs with a peach of a Spencer-esque ride. Trillium beats Rocket Rodney and Wallbank, and the filly drops back to 5. Look at that.
You better hold it.
Thanks, Nat.
There you go.
Well done, G-Rods. We're all trying to palm him off with Wallbank, and he said, no, change the graphics. It's Trillium, and Trillium was victorious. And what happened then, Barry, in the market?
Yeah, 1.29, so around 3 to 1 on. Rocket Ronnie traded in the run. Before getting headed by the winner. The runner, the third horse, Wallbank, traded low at 2.2. You also had, your winner had a trade out high at 20, the winner. I had a Betfair SP of, not showing the SP for some reason, give me 1 second. I had a Betfair SP of 10.5. Good shout, G-Rod. Well done, you.
Yeah.
Can we just give a little clap for Pat Dobbs as well? I mean, who is it? So did someone?
Yeah,
someone in the comments said about the jockey, didn't they? And
wanted Jamie Spencer on, but like we said, there was no doubt of that horse pulling in that race. They just went so fast that there was just no way that horse could pull.
And a little round of applause for Rossi Ross, because Keith Melrose may have called the wrong winner in the sprint yesterday, but no such disasters here. You did very well, Ross, there. Quite an enjoyable, although I think it was a bigger field yesterday, to be
Yeah, I was going to say, judge me...
you did a very, very good job. So how can we pick this apart, really? Was it pretty straightforward? I mean, to be fair, Rocket Rodney was in a perfect position.
I would argue that Daniel Muscat's gone a bit...
Do you think
overconfident there? I don't know if the horse burst out the boxes so quickly. I think he was looking around, going, "Come on, like you're not going quick enough for me here."
I think you thought he was going to get the ride that my one got.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's ended up being a lot closer to the pace, hasn't he, than I thought he was going to be.
Then Trillium did the Spencer ride, but under Pat Dobbs.
Under Pat Dobbs, yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah. Didn't she look well as well before the race?
She
did look well, but
she looked fantastic.
Yeah, no, the right three were there, weren't they, Russ? Yeah. They were your first three in the wrong order, of course, but they were your top three, weren't they?
Yeah, I think when you're doing 2-year-old races, if you just like I said, you know how good they are in those novices, and it's just about things dropping right in the listed and group races, and there's such a you're saying about French standard times. 2-year-old 5 furlong and 6 furlong races. There's so many races. You know where the bar is for a listed or group winner, and if you haven't matched it, you haven't matched it.
Then you know. And Studio City was last, so
hated that track.
Looked to not enjoy that, and didn't actually look very quick.
Another good thing about 2-year-old times, of course, is that they're all over. At this stage of the season, most of them are been over 5 or 6 furlongs. So those 5 or 6 furlong races are usually run at a sound pace, aren't they? So you get a consistent type of race every single time, which then gives you consistency standards.
And also credit to Richard Hanna, because I know we've already said it. I really have got the hiccups. With Trillium, how we kept saying, look how strict she is, look how fit she is, there wasn't an ounce of fat on her. And actually, when you are looking, there is an importance of looking at these animals as athletes, and there was nothing left unturned training-wise to get her in. That was proper.
Well, I mean, this is a huge meeting for the Hannans, isn't it? Yeah, let's not forget that really, obviously Royal Ascot is huge, but Goodwood is where they have had so much success down the years, isn't it, the Hannan Yard? They always will have probably had this race in mind for their best 2-year-old or one of their best 2-year-olds all season. I
were saying earlier about Sean Levy having to do a Richard Hughes. Pat Dobbs has done a Richard Hughes there.
He has.
He's ducked, he's dived, he's weaved, he's gone.
It was brilliant.
What was nice about that is, and again, this is the thing about Pat Dobbs, you get the feeling Pat Dobbs is the kind of person who, a car could explode next to him and he'd be like, he's been there, he's done that. Nothing phases him. He's not at the top of the tree. He's not at the bottom. He's comfortable. He gets these rides. Look at him.
Yeah,
he's not even phased. He's just won the Morecambe. He's like, yeah, sure, why not?
Ice cold, isn't it? Ice cool.
And that was one of those rides. It was almost. He's so experienced that he was like, the gap's closed there. Maybe I'll just switch out. I'll probably get down the rail and then go and win cosily. There was no panic, no worry, no thrashing about. No, God, I've got to get a gap. No thinking, oh God, I'm at Goodwood, it's not going to work out for me.
Yeah.
He waited till it came, and then when it was there,
you're totally right. And a typically competitive Morecambe, it's nice. Richard Hannan, pre this race, she's a very, very good filly. Stepped up from a first run to a second when bolting up at Newbury. That was over 6. She's got a fantastic turn of foot, as you saw last time. I'm not worried about the going down to 5 furlongs. She receives a bit of weight, but being a filly, as you'd expect, it's a competitive Morecambe. I can imagine Richard Hannan, having seen him, and you saw him at Newbury not so long ago, and I see quite a lot of him actually when I go racing, and he's a good fun trainer. If you're going to have flat horses, he really gives the owners that experience. He's funny, he's light-hearted, he enjoys the day, he's kind of all for the camaraderie, looks after his owners. It's quite a good. I think you'd have a nice experience having flat horses, whether it's a syndicate, whatever, with Richard Hannan. I think
there's nothing dour about him, is he? I think he realises that he's been dealt a good hand in life.
Yes.
He's got a nice
setup.
Yeah, he's got a nice setup, a career that many people will be very envious of.
Envious, yeah.
And he just, He's just having a good time.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse for me than someone who has money, privilege, and success, and looks like they're livid about it.
Yeah.
And they're just grumpy about
Yeah,
it. It's
look,
like you're having a good life. Enjoy yourself.
If you get
mate.
dealt a good hand in life, I am the least chippiest person. I think good on you. Enjoy
do
it.
it,
Have
yeah.
a nice time. Look after people. Be kind. Have fun. Why not? Because God, otherwise the world can be miserable and really boring. But it's not, so fine. And we are not. Well, we are obviously still far away, but I can't believe we've got to really build up this excitement because we're not a million miles away from the Sussex Stakes, and it's all about the brilliant Baaeed, which of course is reflected in the market. I've already got it up.
Not if Pat Dobbs has got anything to say about it. I tell you what, if Chindit comes and does Baaeed on the line after that. Oh.
Hey, I chinned you.
It's absolutely
like it?
Chins. It's chinned him, yeah.
Chindit's
That'll be
chinned
the
him.
headline.
I'm never speaking about Chindit again because I was so mean about him last time, saying, he's not really Group 1 type of horse. And then obviously when that he was brilliant last time, to be fair. But yeah, we're not too far away, and unexpectedly, not surprisingly, Baaeed is at 1.18 in the betting, and quite right because he's 8 from 8. We've seen him over a mile. I think it's fair to say after this he will take the Frankel route, won't he, Barry? And this will be possibly the last time we see him over a mile.
Hope so, yeah.
Yeah, me too.
The further he goes, the better he's going to be. But he's going to be very difficult to beat here, it has to be said. He's 1.18 now, which is 2 to 11, 15.5 alcohol free. Modern Games 23, and it's 38 Order of Australia. Chindit for the aforementioned Pat Dobbs 80, and it's 120 each of two Angel Blue and Baccarat Leon. What we're going to do in it, though, we're going to look without the favourite. So your horse can win the race or come second to the favourite. I'm going to look to lay alcohol-free in this market at around 2.70, so around the 13 to 8 mark. They tried Hoods on her first time up over a mile this season in Sandown in the 365 mile. She was really disappointed. She was beaten 2 lengths by Lights On. Then in the Lock Hinge, she was free again. And when she came under pressure, she didn't find a whole lot. That was over a mile behind Baaeed. She went to Ascot then, wasn't beaten that far over 6 furlongs, and they kept her at 6 furlongs, threw the dice again in the July Cup on the July course in Newmarket, and she duly obliged. But I think stepping back up in trip now is not going to be in her favour. I think she could be a bit buzzy and she could be a bit keen after her having her last 2 races at a really fast 6 furlongs. So happy to be a layer of her at 2.70. We're going to take 50 quid out of her, please, Ross. Take 50 quid of the backer stake. Happy to be a price taker here as well. Don't want to set our own odds. 2.7 seems perfectly fair to me. We have Modern Games running First Order of Australia as well, Angel Blue. And she did win this race last year, but it was soft. Very different surface this time round. Her last 2 runs over 6 furlongs have been obviously very, very fast races, and that could... she could, if she gets very keen and getting racing early here, over the mile, she won't get home.
Nice.
There you go.
So
That's
I had a little
alcohol-free.
pause then because I was messaging our wonderful team saying, anyone around to help refresh us? G-Rod would have a green tea, Ross too, and I'd have a cappuccino. I genuinely have written that because I'm a little bit thirsty. We have another...
Well, they're all alcohol-free drinks, so it was beautifully timed.
Hey, we're here all afternoon. Another social. Who wins the Sussex Stakes? Is that the social? Or am I just reading? Baaeed. This is the social poll. Oh, this is exciting.
Yeah, this is the poll.
Who wins the Sussex Stakes? Baaeed, 72%. Alcohol-free, 10%. Modern Games 7%, and the other is 9%. That's quite interesting, isn't it? I thought it'd be 99% Baaeed. Can we just... I know most people know a lot about Baaeed, but I'm not trying to be boring, but can we just talk a bit about Baaeed, where Frankel went? Baaeed is almost following. So can we just say that the QE2 to the Lock-In to Queen Anne, and now today Sussex Stakes. Baaeed, the world's highest rated thoroughbred. He's 8 from 8, as I said earlier, all over a mile. Hopefully he's victorious today, and we're going to see him going up in trip, as Barry kindly said. And then what I loved the most was the quote from Lee Mottershead today in the Racing Post, saying, when you are as good as Baaeed, comparisons with the immortals are inevitable. I thought it was beautifully put, because that's what we do. We make comparisons and we compare, and he doesn't have to be Frankel. You might not think he's Frankel, but at the end of the day, he's a flipping good horse.
Yeah, he is. I mean... I remain unconvinced that he is as good as everyone says he is. I don't think he's really beaten a good horse yet, apart from Palace Pier, and I was never really that sold on Palace Pier as a as a horse. That's probably why I don't rate him very highly. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's obviously a very, very high-class horse, but in the sort of echelons of, you see the Sarses and your Frankels and your absolute champions, I'd have him quite a way
He's not an
below them.
all-time. You say he's not an all-timer. You're just saying he's the best there is now.
He's the best around that there is now, but there's nothing around at the moment. That, like, when this horse comes up against the real horse, we'll see how good he is. That's what I'm saying. Like, he's got this tag of being the best horse in the world, in my opinion, by beating absolute nothing. You know, like Real World a couple of times, and yeah, Palace Pier. Palace Pier's a good horse, but I didn't think he was outstanding. Order Australia, yeah, El Drama, whatever. You know, they're not the horses. Like, for Frankel was beating proper horses, wasn't he? You know, he was winning guineas and celebrations and
the celebration won, was it 4 or 5 Group 1s without Frankel, and then finished second to Frankel repeatedly as well.
Celebration might beat Baaeed.
Yeah.
He was a proper horse at Celebration.
Hey, listen, I'm not. You're here. This is about opinion. For me, I personally, the reason I love Baaeed is because Frankel was, as we all know, it's so well documented. Frankel was hot-headed. You know, Cecil did this amazing training performance with him, and there was lots of things to keep Frankel really on the road because he obviously had that mindset. The reason I love Baaeed is because I don't believe we've ever even yet had to see the best of him, because he is laid back, he races relaxed, he doesn't really do anything wrong in his races, he's versatile. I've never seen anyone have, you know, the jockey's never had to really throw the kitchen sink at him. You've not seen Baaeed get, you know, hurried, because you don't need to, because jockey's just sat there going, yeah, I'm all right, actually, I'll let him go a bit more and we still win. So you don't even need to attack him. So I just love him as a racehorse, temperament-wise. But yes, Frankel was just a bit wow.
Yeah, you've nailed it there.
Yeah. Wow.
I think you've nailed that exactly what it is with Baaeed with me. Is I watch him and I don't get that wow. I don't get the wow factor. I watch him and I think he's good, but I don't look at him and go, oh, that's special. When I looked at Frankel, I was like,
wow.
Wow. And there's two or three other maybe really good horses who I've looked at and gone, wow, that's amazing. Yeah. And Baaeed somehow racked up an 8 out of 8 profile without really wowing me yet. Maybe today is going to be his wow moment.
Well, and it can be hard to be wowed. Like on the jumps, when I first saw Gallop into Champs, I actually went, whoa. I was gobsmacked by the way it jumped, by the way it travelled, and those wow moments kind of really
are pretty
what
rare.
We're
Yeah,
we're expecting
expecting them to come through and every decent winner kind of knock your socks off. But there's different types of
wow.
There's different types of wow. I mean, personally, the wow with Baaeed is to turn up every single time and consistently knock it out of the park is a different kind of thing. I mean, Frankel, you know, the Guineas where everyone went, we can't keep this up. Oh, he has. And then at Royal Ascot where, you know, he did about as much wrong as you possibly can do in a Group 1 contest and still go on and score. So there were times where Frankel, he pulled it out of the fire a couple of times in a fashion, and then even then people were kind of lining up to say, oh, you know, one day it's not going to quite get right. And then he stepped up to 10 furlongs, and it was the International, which was that moment where Frankel in the International looked like Baaeed does over a mile almost. It was effortless. And I wonder whether Baaeed will do the same almost. He'll step up to 10 furlongs and then you'll get your wow, because maybe he's been the best horse in the world over his sub-optimum trip.
That is entirely possible, isn't it?
Which you might get your wow.
Yeah. And
he's waiting to wow you at York Rodders.
He's waiting to wow me.
Yeah.
And I wait to be wowed.
Yeah. Well,
But I think he could get beat here. I mean, I've had a bet against him, you know, each way.
What can?
I know.
Well, there's only one horse.
Alcohol-free.
There's only one horse that can beat him in there, and you know, that's alcohol-free. Barry's taken her on, hasn't he? On the assumption that maybe she will pull too hard, I think, which is possible. But I think that alcohol-free's got a really good chance of beating him here. I mean, let's not forget that she won the July Cup. Would Baaeed be quick enough to win a July Cup? What do you think?
No. I don't think so.
No, I don't think he would be either. So if this gets messy, and
then again, I mean, well, Naval Crown nearly won a July Cup, and he's a miler as well.
That's true. Yeah, we don't know, do we? But I mean, she's top class filly, isn't she?
100%. 100%, absolutely. God, no, look, we've still got time. We're going to talk more about alcohol-free. Of course we are. We're going to talk about all of the runners. For goodness sake, this is the Sussex Stakes, Group 1, but we have got our social corner. Sadly, I can't read Japanese, but it's terribly beautiful,
The name, the screen name, yeah.
It's beautiful, but sadly I can't read it. But I'm Japanese, so I believe Baaeed Leon will win. I reckon it's very difficult for him, though. Yeah, I mean, of course, you make a valid point. Yes, it is going to be difficult. This colt, I don't know an awful lot about the breeding. I don't know if anyone's up on their sort of Japanese racing, but obviously on a win last time.
Baaeed Leon.
Yeah.
No, the only thing I do know is that the Japanese did win the Nassau, didn't they, a couple of years ago? Was it in 2019?
Deirdre.
Deirdre. Yeah, and I remember I was there that day, and there were a few Japanese racing fans in attendance. And, you know, the Japanese race fans are absolutely fanatical, aren't they? I mean, I absolutely love them because they really love their racing. And they got so much joy out of seeing Deirdre come over here and win that race. And how they haven't won an ARC yet is still quite amazing to me. It will surely happen soon.
Well, I mean, the noise that I made when Shidu won on the line last year was the same noise that my friend won when Orfevre got beat on the line after backing it for 3 months solid every week.
And looking for sure like he was going to win.
Yeah. So they've come about as close as possible. And they definitely thought, my biggest ever return in an ARC was Rail Link. Not through any particular strength of form analysis, just looking at the totes and going, sorry, Deep Impact's what price? And they're going, well, I'm going to have to back three other horses here who could possibly win. And getting about 40 to 1, about a 8 to 1 shot or whatever it was.
It's nuts, though, isn't it? When you go through the, I mean, you know, apart from Baaeed and alcohol-free, who have obviously won a fortune, 1.5 and 1 point whatever. But you know, if we look at Baaeed Leon and we just look at the races and the prize money, it's quite staggering, really, isn't it?
Well,
Rules races.
The interesting thing is the dams from the family of Serious Attitude who won the Shively Park for Ray Guest.
That's right.
Many years ago, and then went on to win a Canadian Group 1 and has gone on. And then they sold her for a right old packet. She was the horse that cemented Ray Guest's fillies and mares specialist kind of reputation. So there is a bit of recognisable pedigree in there.
Well, should we? I mean, we're only 15 minutes away. Should we? I mean, I know we've talked extensively about Baaeed, but should we go through them in horse order? Could be quite fun.
Do it.
Barry, should we start with you on Baaeed? Because I didn't really get a word with you on Baaeed.
He's swept all before, and what can you say? He's undefeated. He looks a champion in the making. He's bred to be a champion. He's by sea to stars. I think the step up and trip eventually will really suit him. I think 10 furlongs will be his Goldilocks trip. And they're taking this on the way. He's a 6 to 1 on chance. He should really be putting these away with the minimum of fuss.
Fair enough. Ross, I know we've talked about a little bit about Baaeed Leon, but anything else to say? Obviously, that Group 2 winner at Meydan 4 months ago.
Yeah. Huge outsider, wasn't he?
Sorry?
He was a huge outsider that day.
He was, yeah.
Would you be tempted to encourage anyone to have a little nibble at 66s or?
I mean, it's just the shape of the race, isn't it? That you can't. But it wouldn't surprise me if there was some sort of surprise, maybe forecast, TriCast wise, because there's a possibility that there's a couple of horses here actually might think they can beat Baaeed, and then there's a couple of horses who go, I'll grab that place money. So it wouldn't be entirely ridiculous. However, I think Baaeed Leon, based on that Meydan run, is likely to be there to be shot at early on. So it's going to be a tough ask. But fair play, thank you for coming a bit of international interest here.
Yeah, it is.
Because there's so many
exciting.
UK trainers have shirked the issue here.
Yeah, and no, they've got. I think it's brilliant. Well, before we go on to Chindit, you're on Chindit. I mean, you're not. It's not your pick. I mean, you're going to talk about Chindit.
I'm going to talk about Chindit.
We do have. You've got to talk about Chindit. We do have a social corner again. The Mighty Gomez, which is great to hear from you. Modern Games ran on the same card in France as International Angel in a faster time. Now that's fascinating, but we've talked a little bit about the French times.
You would expect that, obviously, because the race just a minute ago was a Group 3 race. This is a proper Group 1, isn't it? So you would expect Modern Games to have recorded a faster time than the filly. Completely forgot what I was going to say. I was going to say something interesting. I usually do.
You always do. Always is something interesting.
It'll come back to me. Anyway, we want to talk about 66 to 1 outside of Chindit. I mean, he's Group 2 horse all over, isn't he? He's Group 2 horse running in a Group 1. He's the sort of horse that Baaeed keeps beating. You know, Baaeed just keeps turning up beating proper Group 2 horses, and everyone says he's an absolute champion, which, you know, fair play to him, like we say, keeps pulling it out, but he's not a Group 1 horse.
Do you remember Chindit was the one, because when I was getting a lot of my trifectas, and I had a 3 in race order, and Chindit was my 3rd, and he just got 4th. I was absolutely. I do remember that. I could have cried. I genuinely could have cried, because even though Baaeed was the winner, it still would have been quite a nice pot to pay because I got it in exact order. I was livid. Never mind. So that's Chindit.
Well, I'm having a little nibble on Chindit just because I think he is. You know, you've had your Baaeeds and your Real Worlds.
Yeah.
And then in behind, you've had your Chindits and your Australias about, you know, they're playing for that place.
Yeah.
Now, Real World isn't here, and I think Chindit could be the value forecast or without the favourite bet, because should have won the Summer Mile last year.
Yeah. So my bet was Baaeed, Real World, Chindit, but Chindit got 4th. But I know what you're saying for. I get it.
But take Real World out of it, and Order of Australia. You know, I think this track suits Chindit, so I think he could outrun his odds and get that second.
Why not have a nibble at that? Why not at the prices do have a nibble? But Giro, the only thing I see, I'm a massive fan of Real World. I know you said what's Baaeed beating. I think Real World is
Real World could be the acceleration of the year.
He's good, but
he's good. He's really, really good.
He's not tip top.
No, right, let's keep going through. Order of Australia. Barry, obviously second to Baaeed in last year's Milan, but looked in good form last time out.
Yeah, good ground is the key to him. He really enjoyed the ground here today, but he's well exposed at this stage of his career. He's a 5-year-old now. Was a Group 2 win last day. Doesn't really add up to much. He was odds on. He did what he was expected to do. Probably better judging his run at Royal Ascot and the Queen Anne when he was 3rd. To Baaeed. Real World was second there. He's in front of Chindit. He's in front of Saturday's winner, Sir Busker. You know what you get with him. He'll be there or thereabouts, but I don't think he's good enough to finish in the first 2.
Yeah, fair. Well, Ross, alcohol-free. We're only 10 minutes away from the big one, the Sussex. Oh, my goodness. Got to build up the excitement. This is really the highlight. I cannot wait. But alcohol-free, who G-Rod thinks is the main danger, possibly can beat Baaeed.
Yeah. Well, there's only one horse has won this race back-to-back, and that was Frankel. So it's going to be quite a performance if she goes and does it.
Can she retain the crown?
Well, I mean, you've got to stand up and applaud her. She's got that rating based on. We talk about your Baaeeds and maybe even your Frankels playing it safe a little bit. Oh, we'll have 7 runs over a mile, step up to a mile and a quarter, and then retire. Alcohol-free has done, you name it. She's done it. She's running in the best sprints around. She's running the international. She's running heavy ground. She's run on fast ground. She's gone round bends. She's done straight tracks. She's turned up at every single festival. She's not trip dependent. She's not ground dependent. She's not course dependent. She's not jockey dependent. She's just a very, very good horse. The problem for her is that every now and then everything goes to plan and she looks wonderful.
Yes.
And then next time out, it doesn't necessarily. I'm not saying she's inconsistent, but the races she runs in are inconsistent. Therefore, it's hard to back up those performances.
That's really nicely put, actually.
But she's a jack of all trades almost, and because of that, she probably doesn't quite get the credit she deserves.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. That's a nice sort of conversation about alcohol-free there. And poor G-Rod, I keep giving you the rather random ones, don't I? Angel Bleu here. Obviously, last year's vintage stakes winner, Angel Bleu.
Yeah,
Angel Bleu.
probably wants soft ground.
Yeah.
You would have thought Angel Bleu, but might be a pace angle in the race, I suppose.
I said that about Kinross yesterday, though, really, and that probably should have won.
Well, you know me, Ross, I'm not a huge ground punter.
He's not a ground person.
I believe that most horses go on most types of ground, but Angel Bleu's best form is on soft, and I suppose you could argue yesterday that Truchan was quite a way below his form. Even though I absolutely applaud, like you said, like the Japanese come, I absolutely applaud the fact they ran Truchan yesterday. You know, so what have they lost?
Yeah.
You know, the horse is fine by all accounts, from what I can tell.
Yeah,
He's
not
jarred up or anything.
not, you know.
We got a great race out of it. They've lost absolutely nothing defeat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, if anything, they've enhanced the reputation because they've actually turned up and done it.
Yeah, and when he does get his conditions, he'll beat the other two.
Yeah, he'll go to Ascot. Hoogerbass got him
Yeah.
hack up.
Yeah, when the rain comes, which of course it will. So that just leaves us with one of my favourite horses, actually, Modern Games. I think this is, for me, such a likeable racehorse. It's just Modern Games is against Baaeed.
I like the way that
basically
this horse
it.
moves now.
It's gorgeous.
He'll finish second.
He's very
You
fluid.
think, Barry?
Modern Games.
Yeah. I really like him.
I
you
do.
know, British Cup juvenile winner on firm ground. His first run back, obviously, he won the French Guineas. Then he goes to, he gets beat in the Prix de Jockey Club by the subsequent Carl Eclipse winner. And then in Deauville, he's not beaten that far last time out. He's only beaten Let in the quarter. He went off favourite that day. It was probably a little bit disappointing, if anything, but I think they freshened him up. They brought him back here. And if something's going to bustle up Baaeed, I think it'll be him. One of our regular viewers, Commander Van Roerich, poses the question, is there anyone else fancying it? I think he's definitely one for the places.
I mean, he's won as, you know, in the past, what?
I'm just
7 or 8 months, he's won as
Yeah.
many Group 1s as Baaeed has.
Yeah.
So I think we maybe are writing him off a little bit. And of course, Barry, Ernesto was behind him at Chantilly as well, who won the Grand Prix de Paris. And,
Yeah.
you know, so that is, you got a couple of genuine Group 1 horses come out of that.
It's
And of
just
course,
everything
who's on board?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Young
Billy.
upstart Billy Buick.
Billy
Billy
Buick's
Buick's
up.
on board, but it's just everything about him. Like you said, beautiful. Debarwi Colt and Debarwi Colt's at 3. That's nice. There's a lot of ticked boxes there, and I just the look of the horse. And he's so admirable, isn't he? I just think. Yeah,
He
he's
floats
against
across
Baaeed.
the ground, this horse. He just floats. He's got
he's
a
very
lovely way of
beautiful.
going across the ground, Modern Games, and I think fast ground will really suit him.
Yeah.
I'm going to be very interested to see who wins the bet between Barry and Melrose here.
Yeah, come
now,
on.
do you
come on,
remember
answer that.
about yesterday, Barry and Melrose had
Keith Melrose, not...
had a debate about, not Melrose,
not
yeah.
Mel- yeah.
Had a debate about what
They
price Baaeed was going to go off on the World Pool.
Okay.
Because there is a Japanese horse in here.
Yes.
And on the similar logic to your Deep Impact that the Japanese might back the Japanese horse on the World Pool, Melrose was, I think, cheekily suggesting that you might get 1.6 on Baaeed, to which Barry scoffed and couldn't believe. I think the bet was settled at around 1.4, was it?
Yeah, was it?
Somewhere
Was
in
it
that
set
region,
at
Barry?
1.4?
Where are you seeing this? Where's the tote pool? Have we got it on graphic there?
No.
No, what was the mark? What was the mark that you agreed on?
I remember.
Well, he said it'd be 1.60, which is like what, 4
Ridiculous.
to 6 around that mark.
Yeah.
And I think I was a bit lenient with him, and I let him off the hook there because he said he almost said that jovially. So I let him off the hook, and I let him go to 1.40, which is 2 to 5.
Yeah, God, good memory, G-Rod there. Well, I'll just remind you, because like I say,
only yesterday.
We're not too far away. 15.
What's it paying at the moment, G-Rod?
I'm not sure. I'll try and find out for you, Barry.
You try and find out. We can do a quick market check, which hasn't, not surprisingly, hasn't changed an awful lot. Baaeed, that 1.19, alcohol-free 15.5, Modern Games 24, Order of Australia 30, Chindit 85, Angel Bleu at 100, and Bathrat Leon, the Japanese Raider, at 120. They have started to make their way down to post. We do have the one and only, the brilliant, fantastic, can't think of any other bees, Baaeed. The brilliant, beautiful,
Bombastic.
bombastic
There
Baaeed. Looking very calm, having a poo, actually. That'll make him a little bit lighter.
Is that a positive?
I don't mind them having,
Freeze on at the moment.
I don't mind them having a poo.
Three's on. Interesting.
Three's on. Okay.
So
He looks
Barry's
quite...
shading it at the moment.
Okay.
1.4, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
1.4. No, he looks great as always, doesn't he? He looks up for it to me. He's
Well, I mean, you'd hope so, wouldn't you? You'd hope so. You really would hope so.
you don't want him.
He's had 43
He's
days to get in the groove,
And
hasn't
thank
he?
you very much to our studio
Yeah.
for bringing us
Yeah.
wonderful refreshments. We do actually really appreciate it.
Green
it's very
tea
nice.
stand
So
up.
thank you very much. And G-Rod loves his green tea, so he'll be absolutely bouncing off the
love a
walls in a
herbal.
minute, as we all will. So yeah, making their way down to the start for the Group 1, the Sussex team.
Just imagine Rodder's bouncing off the walls in here at this point. We're racing
Yeah, don't
first
fall
live.
off your chair if alcohol-free wins
Well,
this.
yeah,
like,
if alcohol-free wins,
Bruce
then
Millington fell off his chair, didn't he?
trophy is mine.
Yeah.
Fives on it is, G-Rod.
Fives on.
1.19.
See, Melrose, what does he know?
Melrose.
Again, I keep forgetting that. No, he's your boss, isn't he?
Yeah, Melrose
yeah.
is my boss, yeah.
I love
Yeah,
the,
that,
I love
weird,
the
that
idea.
boxes me. That's weird. That.
Yeah.
I love
Just
the
call
idea
him Mel.
Just call him Mel.
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 Can we just call him Mel?
It's like Billy.
All right, Mel.
Yeah.
You don't have to keep using his second name.
No, let's just call him Mel in the purple jumper. Which one has purple?
Yeah,
He had
I think
like
it sounds
a
like a.
mauve.
I feel like we should be watching him in a, 11 p.m. on the working men's club. Please welcome to the stage, Melrose. Hello.
Welcome, Mel. Well,
Yeah,
I can imagine that. Yeah.
yeah.
I can imagine it too. Oh my
My
god.
mother-in-law, she said, Baaeed and go off 1 to 4.
World-class quizzer.
Yes, he is a world-class quizzer.
He's great. We had a couple of beers last night. He was definitely getting more Scottish, wasn't he?
You wait till Robbie comes in. I think Robbie's coming in on Friday.
Friday.
Now get him to do some impressions.
I'm not in. Are you in with Robbie?
No.
Oh, that'd be so
I'll have to
fun. Oh, it's Kate. Kate Tracy.
We'll pass this on today. Well, Barry will be here, won't you, Barry?
Yeah, I'll be here, yeah.
Remind Dave to get Robbie to do some of his famous impressions. He loves doing it.
Who does he do best? Mel? Does he do Mel well?
He can do Mel.
Does he do Mel well?
Well, he doesn't call him Mel. He calls him Purple Jumper.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does love a purple jumper.
He does.
He really does.
Does he do you, G-Rod?
Yeah, I think he does, but I've not heard it yet. But
Aren't you his boss?
I'm Robbie's boss. Yeah, so there's a little
Pyramid.
tiering.
Oh, yeah.
He's becoming very clear in the post.
Yeah. We're really getting to the bottom of the hierarchy.
Who's
Yeah.
Dave's boss?
I think that's Giffen.
I think it is getting.
Gethin.
Yeah.
Okay. We're getting there. We've got a good team here at the Racing Post, I tell you. Have I got a boss?
Who's your boss
Everyone,
now?
I think.
Nobody's
All of
your
you.
boss.
Everybody's my boss. I'm just
Nobody
here
bosses
steering the
Nat
ship,
around.
trying not to crash it into rocks for Dave's return.
It's like Malcolm in the middle of you, isn't it? You're not the boss of me.
I don't think I would do well with the boss, actually. So we are 1 minute off the start time for the fabulous one and only Group 1 Sussex Stakes. But we have got a little promotion for you, which means I need to get my clipboard out, clippity clip, clop, clip, because otherwise I won't remember what I'm saying. But I have it written down here about the Members Club offer, which hopefully, just like magic, will be up on your screen. Make the most of an almighty Goodwood Festival subscription to Racing Post Members Club. Unlimited access to the Racing Post digital newspaper, available 9 p.m. the evening before, to get ahead of the latest news, insights and tips. Loads more features as well, articles by people in this room, top tipsters, unlimited replays from all UK and Irish race courses, the database, stats and more. Now, basically, you get 50% of your first 3 months. Just click the link in this video. So what you can see now on your screen, click the link in the video description. And if you subscribe before the end of July, not long left to take advantage of this month's subscriber competition. 2 tickets to the 4-day Ebor meeting at York. Phew, yippee-yoo. I do think, though, having the digital paper at 9 p.m. the night before is an absolute winner.
Yep.
It's really good, and actually
You can print it out and then read it in bed, can't you?
God, you could do that, because I do that every day.
Well, there's an awful lot of people who obviously complain about the price of the Racing Post, paper edition.
Paper itself, yeah.
But for, what was it, £17?
Yeah.
That's 30 papers at 50p a go, isn't it? Because you get the newspaper. Like, you can read the newspaper in the same way you read the newspaper.
Great value.
Yeah.
Great value.
Yeah, no, it's unbelievable, and actually, for someone like me, the replays are incredibly important. To have all of UK racecourses and Ireland makes it an absolute win-win. Well,
I tell you what, as well, if you complain about the price of the newspaper, if you download the digital version, print it off every day, see how much printer ink and paper costs you by the end of the week.
well
Printer ink's like
that's the problem. It's not the
like
Racing
gold
Post
bullion.
being greedy. It's the cost of print is
Yeah.
enormous.
What's the
G-Rod.
tactics going to be here, by the way? Are we going to
Tactics? Yes, let's discuss. We are literally.
Who's going to lead? Who's going to lead? Are we looking at the Bathrat Leon and Order of Australia, maybe pace angles? What are we thinking?
Yeah, Order of Australia, I think, potentially would track the Japanese horse. The Japanese horse on the tote. Melrose wasn't far wrong. He's 26
Yeah.
on the tote,
Really?
and he's 290 on Betfair.
They're piled in
That's
to
a bit of
Bathrat Leon.
that's a bit of a difference there, but he's done his money. His 6 is on now on the tote. Baaeed, and it's the same price on Betfair, 1.17.
Okay, well, very excitingly, loading is underway. This is awesome. Come on, let's get the energy high. Angel Blurt, that's one to load. We're going to go over to the commentary for the Group 1 Sussex Stakes.
Here we go.
Japanese
They're
horse.
off in the racing, and Betfair Leon has stumbled out of the start, but then blasted into the lead anyway, taking out Angel Blur on its route. Hello to our Japanese viewers, by the way. You're not going to be able to see the race, but we will get the commentary. Betfair Leon is leading up, chinned it down the inside rail now. Order of Australia is restrained. Down the inside is Modern Games in the Godolphin blue silks. Baaeed is settled in 5th on the outside of Alcohol Free, who is a little bit fresh. And Angel Blur is, after that rather awkward start, is restrained out last, sweating down the neck, very keen and not having a great time of things. But Betfair Leon has settled into a rather leisurely lead here from
leisurely
Chindit.
leads, but don't imagine we'll say that, but Chindit, yeah, is in a nice position. Modern Games, though, is a lovely way of going there on the inside, really in a gorgeous rhythm. Order Australia just that bit keen with the headgear on, as we expect, but they're pretty well grouped up. Barry, what's the market saying?
Yeah, still 6 is on Baaeed. No one's played their hand yet. 19 Alcohol-Free, 22 Modern Games. The one in front is into 85 from 280.
Okay, and we're happy where Baaeed is?
There he comes on the outside. Baaeed pulled to the outside. He's cruising.
Jim Crowley has basically said, I do not want to get in any trouble whatsoever here, so I'm going to try and come down the centre of the track. Betfair Leon, though, is still in front currently.
He's still in front. The Japanese is in front.
Baaeed.
Baaeed's having to work.
Come on, Baaeed!
Now he's going into overdrive.
We could have a big forecast here. Modern Games coming through the pack. The one that
Barry
thought might well be in for the second place, but Baaeed has gone through the gears and quick and
Come on, Baaeed!
barely broken sweat. Goes on to win by, what, a length and 3/4 from Modern Games? And there was a big gap back. That was easy.
Barry!
Easy.
1-2.
Yeah, he's done it well there. He's done it well. He's done what you'd expect a 6-on chance to do. I can't see there being any anti-post updates on the international off the back of that victory. I don't think his price will change much. No real massive in-running news there.
No.
Modern Games only traded at a low in running of... Computers just crashed here, lads.
That's all right. Well, Chindit, yeah, sorry, but back in the group company, not disappointed,
Like,
but where we thought he...
Watching Baaeed's like Groundhog Day, isn't it? Like he's just watching the same race over and again. And he travels well, quickens up, and he goes and wins by a couple of lengths.
No, it's not.
G-Rod, embrace greatness. Just embrace it.
Yeah, it's watching
Don't
it.
rally against it. Just embrace it and just say, yeah, he's a really nice horse. He's beaten what's in front of him, hands down every time. 9 for 9 now. Love to see him step up and trip and face better class of opposition.
He is great.
Just embrace it. Just put your arms around it. Put your big paws around it and just embrace Baaeed.
We need a big tree, Barry, and the big honey bay. Come on,
There we
Ross.
go.
Give a bit of love in this studio.
Like that out of Fight Club. It's like that scene with Meatloaf out of Fight Club.
I'm wired in, so I'm going to do this. I'm wired into my chair, so I'm going to do that. I'm giving you a big cuddle. But
Barry just compared Graeme to Meatloaf, which is a new one, I think. So,
or that would make you Ed Norton then, would it, Ross?
it would, yeah, which is fine. I've been
Settle for that.
Much worse.
Not Max Rushton in that shirt.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
One thing, though, can we just, again, right.
He's won
The one
easy.
thing, I go on about it, so I'm going to keep going on about it until, the only point is, Baaeed is hands and heels for his life because he just doesn't, you never have to move on him.
Just like I said,
So
just
he
wait
could
till he
be wow.
Wait till he gets to York.
What's the point?
Wait till he gets to York. Wait till he gets here. I mean, that is wow in the sense of any other horse does that. If it's not Baaeed, any other horse. If a horse turned up, a 4-year-old, you go, I wonder if he's good enough. And he turns up for his first time in the Sussex Stakes, and he goes through the entire race like that, and he passes the entire field like that, and he wins the race, barely breaking sweat.
Right,
Everyone would say he was a superstar. You are just
So we're watching a replay now.
Jaded
Jim Crowley
from it.
pulling out, which I think is a safe place. When you've got a horse of Baaeed
Still on the bridle.
stature on the bridle, you would pull out there because there's not going to be any mess in front. Right, watch this. Just watch Jim. Oh, he's just on a canter. He's just going. He pulls his reins out a wee bit. He's hit him once.
It's because all the other horses in behind are not very good, though, are they? I mean,
3. That's it.
How many Group 1 horses
I
are
thought
there
Alcohol
behind?
Free was good.
Yeah.
No?
But she's not Celebration or Frankel, is she?
No.
You know, I will embrace greatness when I see it, and I have not seen it yet.
Okay, I think it was awesome, and a horse that
I tell you, Barry, when he wins the Arc, Hands down,
Fair.
hands down, I will
Wednesday
embrace
We're
it.
going out in London town, me and you, G-Rod.
I look forward to that.
Yeah, and
Red and black and blue with white epaulets.
And Barry, when he
A
wins
Baaeed
the
scarf.
art, can you please give us a like whoop whoop so we just see real enthusiasm? Please, I want to see you dancing on your chair, spinning the chair around. I don't care. But you can't take horses out of this. It's a Group 1. I mean, but modern games. What a horse though as well. Come on.
Modern
Beautiful
games
action.
He's a good horse, isn't he?
Good
But
horse.
Yeah.
Good horse. Be plenty more to come.
Would,
Yeah, he is. He's a real nice horse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would Verdini beat Baaeed? No.
That'd be a fair race.
Be a good
It
race,
would
wouldn't
be
it?
a good race because
Yeah.
who was it that said, "Oh, what's all the hype?" And then we watched the race and went, that's the hype. Who wasn't you? Was it Keels? No, was it someone saying?
For what? Verdini?
Verdini, yeah. It might have been Keels. I can't remember. And we watched it. We were like, "Wow, okay, that would be a good race, wouldn't it?"
Yeah. What that's my
Yeah.
only thing. It's like, I want to see a race.
What you want? You want to see Baaeed, you want to see Verdini, you want to see Mishrif, you want to see Real World,
Desert
you
Crown.
want to see Desert Crown,
Caribous.
you want to see
I know he's not as good, no, but I'd still like to have Caribous in there.
or Native Trail, like one of the, you need at least one of those.
We need one of those. We need one of those just
You
to
need one
add
of
a bit
those
of
two.
yeah.
You need all of those to turn up and run their race at your. That's what you want. You want all of them against
On the
each other.
Nasemire.
Yeah, and then we'll be getting a little bit excited about things. I think.
We won't be seeing Desert Crown, though. Sure we won't.
No,
He's
no,
already
I'm
out
just-
of
yeah.
being...
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying it. That's the.
It's not-
This is the dream scenario, isn't it? Where all the right horses turn up, and
It's annoying
and
about
take their
Desert
chance.
Crown, isn't it? But realistically,
Realistically, what?
I'm not going to. Well, not going to see him.
Smacks
are
the
we?
meat out of one that we mightn't see again.
I
Right.
agree,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
kind of makes me a bit sad. So I'm not.
Yeah.
It's like Hookham. I'm not getting my head around that yet. I'm going to keep with the
Hookham.
faith. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I know I've put Hookham and Desert Crown in the same sentence, but it's because I just want to see them both back.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I like Hookham. I really like Hookham.
Well, I mean, he looks very good after last Saturday, doesn't he? Looks even better in his. That's the thing. Sometimes horses they don't. But see, this is the thing. Is it? Baaeed's gone to the track and you've got bored of him winning. Hookham's, not been able to come back since Epsom, and he looks better. You're actually quite excited about seeing him. You just watch too much racing, Rod. Isn't it?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think there is without doubt an element of me having seen a lot of superstars down the years, and going back years. We're going back to the 90s and 2000, 2010 Galileos, and even before then. And I think I've just seen so many superstar horses. It really does take something extremely special to knock my eye out.
But that's a fair point, though. That's
Yeah.
probably true. Remind me to tell you a story about a lady I met in a cafe yesterday. Devo on the social, always great to hear from Devo. I do think it's important to be sceptical, then appreciate the greatness after. It's so hard to gauge how good horses are whilst in training.
Yeah, I mean, if Baaeed was, say, God forbid, he had to retire suddenly now, something went wrong, and we never saw him again. Where would he stand among the greats?
Yeah.
I don't think he would be as high as many people think that he can get to, because I think people like Barry are expecting you, Ross, are expecting more. We want. That's the thing, isn't it? We always want more from our greats.
Yeah, well, that's the
So
way.
we want him tested, don't we? You're
Yeah.
right. We want him tested, and the step up to 10 furlongs will test him. He's by Sea the Stars, so you'd have to think he's going to improve again. He can only really beat, and I know this is an old cliche, but he can only beat what's put in front of him.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
and
not
he's
his
been
fault.
dispatching them with such ease that you'd have to think, like, Graeme, he only had his third race or fourth race this time last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's a weird. Who do you support football-wise again, Barry? By the way.
Spurs.
Good. Oh, right, okay, you can enjoy this analogy then. But yeah,
Is this a Spursy analogy?
no, it's an Arsenal analogy.
Right, okay.
Right.
Okay.
So when Arsene Wenger was in charge of Arsenal for years and years and years, plenty of success, as Barry will attest to through gritted teeth. And it got to the point where everyone got bored of Arsene Wenger and the way Arsenal played, and they got bored of finishing second, third and fourth, and they thought, we need to get rid of Arsene Wenger because we should be winning titles. And they got rid of Arsene Wenger, and now look where they are.
They got
They're nowhere
worse.
near winning titles. So there is a point sometimes where you get used to greatness, or you get used to a level of success,
Yeah.
and you think, this needs to be better. We need to change something. Something needs to happen, and then it happens, and you think, actually, you know what? I was spoiled at the time.
Yeah.
I was spoiled by how it was going,
Yeah.
and I get the feeling maybe that might be happening with Baaeed. Once Baaeed will go up, he'll win a couple of races in very good fashion over further, because quite frankly he has no right to be winning these races on his pedigree over a mile.
Yeah.
And then over the next couple of years, you'll be looking at the mile division and going, bloody hell, it was nice to have Baaeed while we had him.
Because it's not Baaeed's fault that those other stars aren't there, because they're not there. So it's not, if they're not there, they're just not there.
But when are they in this division?
Yeah.
Well, obviously, Caribas came out, and that was disappointing, representing that classic form. Obviously, a Guineas winner. So that was it.
I wanted Caribas.
Once that happened, this race was a bit of a dead rubber after that. But you would like to see him taking on better class of opposition, and I don't know when that's going to happen, because the Juddmont's looking a bit thin on the ground now as well. Be real ballsy now. I know I've been saying it all along, and it's a bit tongue-in-cheek, but if they were to go up to 1.5 miles in the arc, that would be amazing. But I suppose it's the Juddmont then, maybe champion stakes, English champion stakes.
I personally think that if Baaeed turns up in the Juddmont and Mishriff turns up, last year's wide margin, wildly impressive 6-length winner from Alan Kerr, who is a Group 1 winner himself, and Baaeed dispatches Mishriff in the same way that he's just dispatched that field, I think that when we are looking at an all-time great then. Because Mishriff, there's no doubt about it, Mishriff is an absolute tip-top
No, and I like what you said before,
on his day.
that
no
you've
doubt about
seen
that.
horses for so long. So I was in the cafe yesterday, Gale's just down there getting...
the posh one.
Yeah, the posh one, getting some baked eggs, which were too well cooked actually, so I wouldn't have them again. And this woman came up to me, she
Nothing
goes,
worse than two
"Oh,
baked
do you
eggs."
work in racing?" Because she'd seen, and I said, "Oh, yeah, we're just Racing Post down the road." And she was like, "Oh my goodness, so I used to watch Frankel." And she wasn't lying. At home work, because she was great friends with Henry Cecil's first wife, who was called, oh gosh, I've forgotten her name. And then she told me all these stories. They went to watch Tina Turner together, and she used to go down to the yard. And I was like, you what? Like, that's her memory of horse racing.
Yeah.
I was like, what the actual? Like, that's a pretty amazing memory. So and she's still... That's her lead to have the confidence to come and talk to me is, do you work in horse racing? Because I knew Frankel effectively and Henry, and I was like, wow, so I get it. So that's still her connection with racing all this time on.
But are we not? Frankel's the best of the best of the best.
Yeah.
So everything, the shadow is so big.
Yeah.
Everyone, they hope. I kind of don't hope that he's the next Frankel. I hope that Frankel always
Remain
Frankel.
Immortal.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Well,
maybe another 20 years until we get the next Frankel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there will be one, obviously, who comes along who will challenge Frankel. I remember when I was younger,
be dead, don't know.
my old man always used to say, you'll never see a horse as good as Brigadier Gerard, so...
Exactly.
there won't be another Brigadier Gerard, and then Frankel
There
came
won't
along.
be another AP McCoy.
So,
I doubt there will, actually. I'm serious on that. I had a brilliant Q&A
I'm not sure
with
there
AP
will be.
McCoy and Michael Owen a couple of weeks ago at a big show jumping event that I was involved in, and we did this Q&A, and God, I love AP. Flipping love him. He's so funny when you get him to chill. He had the crowd in stitches. His daughter, Evie, is a phenomenal show jumper. She's on the under 14s or 13s, where she's in the European Championship. She's kind of got placed all over Europe. She's amazing. And he was like, yeah, Chanel, which is his wife, she always thinks it's just taking part and you've done really great. And AP's like, my advice to my kids is it's not about taking part, it's about winning. It's all about winning. And it was a brilliant, honest Q&A. And then Michael, obviously his daughter's in Love Island, Gemma, and he was like, well, my favourite daughter is Emily. Everyone starts laughing, like, you can't have a favourite child. He goes, yeah, she's UK record-holding 100-metre runner for her age category. And
AP McCoy's daughter?
No, Michael Owen's daughter,
Emily.
Okay. And he's like, she's my favourite daughter because all I have to buy her is a pair of trainers. Because obviously horses are so expensive.
I see.
Gemma, the Love Island girl, rides dress.
She does it naked as well. That's pretty good going.
She does it naked as well. It's amazing.
Amazing. Just a pair of trainers.
Yeah.
100-metre record. Yeah. I get. If I ever have kids, I hope they get very good at I don't know, origami.
Ping pong.
Something. Yeah, something cheap.
Ping pong. Actually, no, that could be not so good. Let's think of something else, not ping pong.
What? It's not, a table could be quite expensive as well, I guess.
Yeah. Origami, you're right.
Origami, yeah, just get some paper, yeah, crack on.
Anyway, no, it was fascinating. So these superstars, will we see another AP McCoy? I actually very much doubt it. Will we see another Frankel? Who knows? Have we just seen brilliant Baaeed back in action, unbeaten, 9 from 9, taking the Group 1 Sussex Days? Yes, we have. And now he hopefully will be going up in trip, is what we all think, that's what we've been reading. And it was just, yeah, fantastic, done it again. And that's what we want to see. But we do still have one more race for you in just under 20 minutes time, but that's going to be us for the day, which has just flown by, isn't it? The 4:10, 1 mile 2 furlongs, the EBF Fillies Handicap at Class 2. It'd be quite nice to get an early view from Barry and get you.
Speaking of Frankels as well, given the breeding of the favourite. We've got a Frankel. We've got to see the stars. We've got some lovely pedigrees.
Yeah, we have actually some really well.
I mean, where does Baaeed rank among Frankel and see the stars? And he's below them.
You can't say that till his career is finished, G. Can you? Really?
Yeah, you're probably right. If he goes and wins, but say that his career ended now, God forbid, where would he stand then? He would be behind them, wouldn't he?
He'd stand with a.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he would be. Yeah.
Yeah, but just because he hasn't been able to surpass them.
Prove otherwise.
Yet.
But we'll find out. He might. He will. We don't know. We hope. We want it.
I really fancy one in this, Nat. So
come on, then.
I want to give all of my, because I know that there's like one follower out there.
Come on, let's go to you. Then we'll go to Barry and
hear my bets. I really fancy one. It's a good price. It's my nap of the day. Lyrical Lady.
Okay.
I was at Salisbury when she won. She was very, very impressive. The time was sound, and the finishing sectionals were very fast.
Yeah.
That was over 1.25 miles. I backed her against. I think Oscular might have been in the race. Let's have a look at Sandown. In a listed race.
Yeah, it was the Grand Dam race, wasn't it?
Yeah, Grand Dam, Oscular was second and Heredia was third. Yeah. So I backed her at 33s in that listed race. She ran an amazing race because the mile trip didn't suit her.
Okay.
Like she wasn't quick enough to go the mile that day, and she was staying on doing all of her best work at the finish. And I really fancied her that day. All of those first three in front of her were all rated in the hundreds, and she was rated 78. So she had an impossible task. She was only beaten 6 lengths. Now she's going back up to 1 mile 2 furlongs, definitely her optimum trip. I think she can resume her progress. The only downside is that she's gone up £11 in the weights for finishing 4th in that listed race. Obviously they were going after a little bit of black type. But Hughie Morrison's not the sort of trainer who does throw these horses into listed races unless he thinks they're up to it. And I mean, she's
not here for a social run.
No, she's 89. She's rated 89. I reckon he thinks that she's listed level. He's obviously run her in a listed race already, in which case she must be 100, somewhere in that region. And I just think the step up to 1 1/4 is really going to suit Lyrical Lady. The return to 1 1/4. Yeah, she's my nap of the day. What price is your bet?
22. You're now
22.
22.
Even talking me into it, he's made such a strong case there.
I actually agree, Barry. I've just done exactly the same. Then I've looked at the form and I've kind of gone, yeah, and at that price, that's very good, G-Rod. I'm very.
Thank you.
Well, let's save the praise till see where it finishes.
I know what's going to happen.
I'm impressed by the case.
I'm
impressed by the case.
Post already.
I suppose I'd better back Natasha being Natalie, and it's green and white, and I'm in green and white. Just saying, probably shouldn't I? Because sometimes it happens like that, like with Nathaniel Green.
It's hard. I mean, you thought Rod has just made a good case, but that was
my case. was G-Rod made his case
Yeah.
on knowledge, and I'm making my case on green and white and the dress that I'm wearing. But she is by Frankel. And her third at Newmarket and reappearance was actually quite good. And C Speedwell doesn't look 100% straightforward for Team Haggis, does she? I mean, God, she came out the stalls at Leicester last time, ducked sharply. That was far from ideal. She ran seriously well to get where she did, to be fair, into second. She looks like a big improver to me.
Yeah, mate, she was kind of the one that I looked at and thought...
Big improver.
No,
I think she is.
Well, I mean, she'd have to be, though. She's the one I looked at and thought, she's going to have to justify her price that she was yesterday. I thought, my God, she's going to have to improve. But then the Haggis-Sunderland Holdings combination is, I mean, they just don't miss. Every shot is
incredible, isn't it?
It's either in or it's, rattles the crossbar. They're really good at. Obviously, they've got a fantastic breeding operation. They've got. It's not bad to have See the Stars,
Yeah.
in your corner, is it? So it's no great surprise that they've got that backbone. But every time they run one, it runs an absolute blinder. But I thought she would have to improve off 82. She was the one I thought was a little bit underpriced last night.
It's one of those races, though, in this, like, if we go through it, there are quite a few consistent fillies, that's fair to say, isn't it? Looking at the form, there's
absolutely.
quite a few consistent types hitting the bar. And really what we want to end the show is we want the winner.
Well, I mean,
gave you the winner.
I'm getting abuse on the...
She was giving it.
Yeah, we've got lyrical
It's already
lady.
past the post.
Yeah, job
That's
done. See you later, guys.
I've got faith. I've got faith in you, G-Rod. I think you found the winner. Ross, have you found the winner?
Well, not if G-Rod has.
You might think you have.
I mean, I do think she's overpriced. I agree. Devo on the chat is giving me all sorts of abuse. Because I quite fancy Peripatetic.
Yes. Now, that one is open to further progress.
Yeah, and there is a possibility that she's a bit slow, and that might not be ideal whipping round Goodwood. But she beat horses rated 101 and 96 at Newcastle on a last start last season, and she comes here rated off 86. They pumped her into listed company behind With the Moonlight, who's won a Group 1 since, and Ray Dawson overbaked the eggs, shall we say.
Like my eggs yesterday.
Exactly, yeah. Overbaked. There was no runniness left in Peripatetic last time out. The ride was rubbery. I'm not going to get a job in the analysis department at this rate, am I?
Dave has somehow.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Not in running analysis. She was given too much to do behind Terra Mythica. I think that Terra Mythica is a fairly decent yardstick. The problem I have, is that early pace. I'm slightly worried that she's going to stumble out of the boxes and find herself in a poor position out the back. But I do think there's improvement to come from her. I was telling you about upgrading 2- and 3-year-old racers.
Yeah.
I upgraded both of hers that she ran in the last 2 starts, which is fairly rare to get a horse coming into it off the back of a double upgrade. So she's very interesting, I think. I think State Occasion's the solid one, although she's not particularly quick either. She just seems to plug on at one pace repeatedly. Natasha's bred beautifully, as you would expect, given the given connections. And you can't entirely rule out Rousset either, who comes from the same form as Peripatetic and has just got, the Hannon, Holly Doyle, the Bilsden Brooks Silks. It's the kind of profile, Rousset, that no one really wants to back those horses who come into it second, third, fourth, second.
Yeah, and I get that.
Kind of running the same race over and over again. But one day it tends to drop right, and I think the step up will see.
No, you're right. It does. It does one day just drop. Barry, what are your thoughts? How are we playing this? What are we doing on Betfair? What are we typing in for this finale for us?
Natasha is your favourite at 5.0. 5.4 State Occasion has been popular. C Speedwell at 6.2. 7.2 Rousey, Peripatetic 10. I like the outsider of the field. Now, it's a very speculative choice. She's still a maiden. She's had 3 runs. She's been handicapped over 2 runs at a mile, and stepping up to the 10 furlongs here, I think will really suit her. She's a rating of 74. The 3-year-old fillies get a £9 weight for age allowance off the older fillies in the race. And there was a run in Newbury in June when she was 5th of 12. She's only beat 2 3/4 lengths behind White Beam. That was the one that kind of caught my eye. And she's a big price. She's 30. So we're just going to back her in the place market, please, Ross. And we're going to back her in 4 places. And she's currently trading at 4.2. We're going to look to back at set our own odds and look to back at a 4.5, which is 7-2. We want to have 40 quid on it at 7-2, so 40 quid to win 100. And that'll go over into the lay section, into the pink box, and we want someone to come in and lay us that bet. So we'll update before the off time of 4:10.
Lovely stuff. I think, she's got ability, Scorpio, but she's probably going to come into her own, end of October, mid-November, is that? Probably when she's going to start to... anyone? No one? Barry? No? Anyone at all? Anyone do the horoscopes? Anyone look at their horoscope? No mind, there's no Scorpios in, obviously.
It was actually a very well thought out joke, wasn't it? But
It Yeah, it was.
I thought G-Rod, I thought he was referencing that you want a bit of give in the ground.
No,
Or
it's
breeding.
that Scorpios are sort of, it's November, isn't it? October. Is it end of October to end of November?
Yeah.
Look, there's nothing better than a comedian telling a joke and someone going, that was very well thought out.
They're very highbrow, Ross, aren't they? You know your audience, man.
Too highbrow.
We really should have got that. It was actually very good, but I think you've just got us at the end of the day, Ross. And
It wasn't funny. It wasn't fun. I'm not saying it was funny.
It was witty.
It was clever.
Social corner. Clive Churchward going along with Lyrical Lady, 50 quid each way. Believe that racing analysis from one of your experts was very believable. I agree. And which horse was it, G-Rod, that you last did this? It was in this last month, and we all agreed with you, and it was landed. And
Was
we're
it
very
Mountain Peak?
happy. Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one because
Thank you very much,
Barry
it
and
was.
Dave both tipped second in that race. I think
Yes.
I've made that point a few times, yeah. So that was most enjoyable.
Yes, because I followed behind you.
Yes, Mountain Peak.
And it made my
he
day.
won very well. So, no, the theory is there, isn't it? The theory is definitely there. Whether, see, I have this thing in my, where I tell myself as a tipster, you probably do this, Ross, too. I'm not sure about you now. I think that you're more a results-based sort of tipster.
Yeah.
Anyway, I have this, because they say this about athletics, and it works in tipping as well. It's a transfer. It's like, if the process is right, then the results will come. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If there's a problem with the process, then the results won't come. So as long as I feel the process is correct, it doesn't, obviously it matters what the result is. But essentially, a lot of the time you can back horses with a really good process that don't win, because that's just horse racing, isn't it? And I generally believe on this horse that the process is absolutely correct. It doesn't necessarily mean the horse is going to win, but the process is correct. And over a long period of time, if the process is correct, the results will come.
Yeah, these are the right. I think there's a guy who does a book and a podcast called Atomic Habits. Can't remember his name, but the phrase that sticks with me is you don't rise to the level of your ambitions, you fall to the level of your systems. And that's a similar thing. It's like if you don't have the systems in place, you can have good days, you can have ambitions, you can have hopes and dreams, you can have results every now and then, but you're not going to get there unless that process, that system is in place. So if you're not analysing them right, you're not going to get it right.
Some might be favourites, but let's just take for today, for example, we all deserve a bit of credit, but I basically got the 1-2 in the first, but of course Secret State was the favourite, but Max third at my each way was second, so that was great. Oscula, Barry was on the French filly, that would have won if the race had been different. Trillium was yours, Baaeed, followed by Modern Games is what Barry and I thought would be the 1-2. So the system's working, and we are there.
It's basically like, it's not about beating yourself up about the results, is it? Which I have always been quite bad at, and you've said that before to me. Like, you know, you can sometimes get a bit down if the results don't go right, and I used to sometimes get a bit down if you go on 10 losers or 12 losers or 20 losers.
Yeah, it's
in
hard
a row.
to get out of it.
And I've done it on this show before, quite famously, on a long losing run. But essentially, I still think the process was correct behind those bets, and if it is, it should. Well, the results should show. The
results today are proof of. I mean, come on, we've been right bang there. So you
can't. I mean, ultimately, you're going for when I was doing this seriously, it was I went back and churned through the results again for several years, and it was a 7 to 10% return on investment kind of thing, and then I was making a large portion of my income from 7 to 10%, and that's not 3 winners out of 6 bets every day, is it? That's not the point. It is getting it right. A small percentage in the grand scheme of things over a long period of time. So
you have to take the long view.
Yeah, you do.
Not the day-to-day.
The psychology of punting is fascinating to me. You know, like how to get to the way that, because people often come up to me and they say, "Oh, well, you're a tipster for the Racing Post. Just give me a winner."
Yeah, you're like, I thought it was that easy. It's not. It's a long game. It's a long system. It's a long process. You take it, the view over the year, then you flat and your jumps and all the different things, and when they develop and blah blah blah, and you're looking and you've got, the work that goes into it is absolutely incredible.
Well, the thing about tipping and punting as well is they kind of harm each other in a little way. Because,
I get what you mean.
Like you're not. you have to decide at some point whether you want to make a profit or whether you want to back winners.
Yep.
And that's not necessarily the same thing. Like Barry's most confident bet today was laying alcohol-free in the without Baaeed market.
Yep.
And that's not people aren't going to stand outside his house clapping, oh my God, like I can't. But that's your solid. That's the stuff that underpins the profit over time.
Yeah.
That's the stuff. If you're always shooting for the moon, then I don't know what the end of this sentence is, but
No, I know what you mean.
but that's boring, isn't it? That's not what they want.
No, that's
not what they
the
want.
guy who hassles you outside Morrison's.
He just wants a winner.
He just wants a winner.
They just want a winner. They care if they win too good. Just want the winner. Right, we're not too far away. 3 minutes away from the 4:10, the EBF fillies. We've got a quick look at the market. Natasha there, 4.9. State occasion at 5.2. C Speedwell 6.4. Rousset 7.8. Ross's pick, Peripatetic at 9.8, Value Theory 14.5. What have we got there? Mirrostica, I can't say, at 14. Lyrical Lady, G-Rod's Nap of the Day is at 20. Goodness me, 19.5. We're going to see it get hammered in G-Rod, I reckon. And Scorpio, Ross's witty joke, lost on us all because late in the day is the outsider at 29.
You wouldn't have got it at midday. Come on.
No, I wouldn't have got it at midday.
I think that you've got to have the right crowd, haven't you, Ross?
You have, yeah.
And unfortunately,
Yeah, you're talking to Deadwood.
You're talking to Nat and me, so yeah.
Your wit is lost, I'm afraid, on us.
I mean, it's basically for my own amusement, guys. So don't you worry about
Don't feel
it.
bad about
Just
it.
to keep you going.
I've done gigs with less audience members than this.
Oh,
Don't
Billy
you worry
B,
about it.
yes.
Hey, yes, Alan Watham, good to hear from you. Come on, Billy B, get your hat trick. Hey, look, yeah, this could happen.
Yeah.
Come on, can we get a hat trick? Tim Easterby.
Billy B.
It's Philly by Haas and
Yeah,
King
not completely
Power
out of
Racing.
it. She loves a quirky undulating track, which is what she's got here. It's an interesting move for her. She ran at Ripon last time out in a race where they went an insane gallop from the outset. In fact, the horse who finished 6th has just run at Redcar, got beaten 3/4 of a length and run quite well. But they turned into the home straight with about 40 lengths between them. Mercica was the first one to take it up, went odds on him when it looked like it was going to win and claimed the crown, was practically tailed off and rattled home to win. So she ran a big race. She's clearly in very good form. She's only a 4-year-old. She's gone up the best part of a stone this season. She's clearly improving. And it's a really interesting jockey booking, actually. Tim Easterby sending one down to Glorious Goodwood and booking William Buick is fairly eye-catching.
You've got to take note of that 100%. Good look. I totally agree. We've got in pictures now State Occasion under very stylish Rossa Ryan at Rafe Beckett Trains now. I must admit, she does look nice, this Ifraj filly.
Yeah, she's the solid one, like Ross said.
She is nice
State Occasion.
nice to look at, isn't she?
Yeah, I'm almost certain that we're going to see those silks in the first 3 as we enter the final furlong. It's just whether she's going to go on and win the race, because she's quite consistent, doesn't win very often at the moment. But
she's a lovely looking type, isn't she?
It's the sort of horse that Rafe.
Yeah, Rafe.
Well,
Rafe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
definitely.
Rafe Beckett is I think he's the 10% return, the pro gamblers kind of trainer, in the sense that, he's not banging in winners left, right and centre. They're not going off 11-8 in novices at Newmarket like the Applebys and winning by 5 lengths. But my God, I mean, he never has a bad month.
No,
He never has a bad month. And then towards the end, he's having winners early on in the season. You go towards the end of the season when the ground gets soft, and these horses who've run 5 or 6 times all year come out and win. He has 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, handicap group winners, novice winners. And like you said with the George Bowie stable, to an extent, they're very rarely properly found in the market.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with
I
that.
think
Just
there's
solid.
When he throws blinkers on, I think there's a sort of headgear. It's either blinkers or a visor, one of them. He's got an amazing record.
Or it could be both. So at Newbury, come on, Natalie, rack your brain. Which horse had it on? I can't remember. Anyway, it's blinkers and a hood, and it's actually got a really cool name. So I went up to Maureen Haggis. I said, Maureen, what do you call that? Like blinker and hood, and it's ridiculous. Like.
Hinkers.
Yeah, no, it is like a mental name. Like I'm going to Google it because it is mental. And I was looking at your pick actually, Peripatetic with the Monty Roberts rug on just to get ready to go into the stalls. And peripatetic means travelling from place to place, in particular working or based in various places for relatively short periods. That's me. I'm peripatetic.
That is you.
I thought
it's my brain, I think.
It reminds me of menopause, like perimenopause. Perimenopause. I was thinking, oh no, I hope it's not that.
Don't know too much about that personally. Yeah.
It's fine, so it's safe enough to read out. Peripatetic. I was hoping, oh God, I hope it's not going to be something like menopause, but it's not. It's travelling from place to place.
Anyway, we've got one to go.
It's a good chat. All the men, you talk about menopause, all the men go, no, get her off. Where's Dave? Get Dave back.
Yeah, bring Dave back.
Bring Dave back. Right, come on. Ross, call us home. I'm going to Google blinkers and hood.
Last race
Do it.
on RP Live.
They're on the starters' orders.
And they're off.
And they're off. Peripatetic was predictably a little bit sluggish out of the boxes. Devo, you're going to come back and haunt me here. I can feel it. Merstica, State Occasion, Rousset, Seed Speedwell, Natasha, down the outside Value Theory, Lyrical Lady, G-Rod's selection is trying to find a bit of a gap. And Scorpio is racing a little bit keenly and is trying to find early position. But again, they're all looking round saying, does anyone want to make...
Not a lot of pace on, is there, Ross?
It's been the order of the day on the round track all afternoon, hasn't it?
Come on, let's
go. The Johnson Olsen Frankie, is that? No,
Here
it's not
we
Frankie,
go.
is it? Is that Billy Boo?
How are
No.
you feeling about peripatetic here, Rossi?
It is Frankie.
It is Frankie. He's gone.
I last to first off a sluggish pace at Goodwood, and I'm not feeling good.
She's a bit warm as well, and she's
feeling good.
Got a tail out. She doesn't look like she's absolutely full of it today. But
I think G-Rod's selection's got a lovely position, unless it gets boxed in. State Occasion's going to just plug on. I mean, if you were betting him running here, State Occasion to hit the frame. I mean,
what is happening in running,
position,
Barry? What is happening in running?
Oh.
Value Theories just didn't handle the bend there. He's gone out to 19, but your favourite State Occasion, and it went off favourite as well, 11-4 and running 4. Natasha now is getting a soft lead up front. The horse that I backed is in second place there, is at the 16.5.
That
like
four
said,
places
Value
is
Theory
looking.
on 17.
That 4 places is looking nice from that position there, Barry. If it keeps plugging on, peripatetic.
Ross, don't do that.
Sorry, I've cursed you, mate.
He's cursed you.
Natasha in front, Scorpio off the bridle, Value Theory, State Occasion, Rousset, Lyrical Lady, Merstica, C Speedwell, and Peripatetic trying to pick up down the outside.
G-Rod,
Here comes Peripatetic to give Devo a bloody
really
nose potentially.
Like wanted to go, G-Rod.
State Occasion looks the one to beat. Peripatetic switches out and's got a chance down the centre. Down the inside, it's Value Theory, Rousset. They've all got a chance. Here comes Billy B. It's Merstica throwing down a challenge as well. But State Occasion's been in the perfect position all the way. Rousset, the one no one really wants to back with that profile, is plugging on and looks to have a big chance. But State Occasion has been given a dream ride here. What a perfect ride. State Occasion wins. Rousset, Value Theory, Peripatetic. Where do you want to be? Slap bang in that little van behind the front runners.
Not on G.
Not too far behind.
She travelled beautifully, that winner, didn't she? Yeah.
There you go. Easy does it. State Occasion. Fair play to you, Devo.
Isn't this, well done, Devo. Isn't this another case of us saying in the preliminaries, God, that looks well?
Yeah.
You know, we had it with Trillium. We had it with State Occasion. When they just have that look about them, sometimes you have to follow your gut. Don't look at anything else. Pick the horse that catches the eye, and that was the one. And a very smart ride by Rossa Ryan, ever so stylish. She looks full of running. He's even still trying to pull her up, I think.
I mean, just again, there's been 2 rides in the first 2 days. Sondrine yesterday and State Occasion there, where after a furlong, you think there's one jockey has figured out what's happening in this race. And that's the thing with Goodwood. You can talk about hard luck stories, you can talk about bad luck in running, you can talk about pace angles, but it is that first furlong where the jockey, there's always one jockey who goes, okay, here's the perfect sit. It's very rarely slap bang on the speed, and it's certainly not held up last, that's for sure. It's that perfect...
Yeah, yours was left a lot to do, Ross, wasn't it?
I mean, it's run a blinder again, hasn't it, from there? It had no chance. Look where State Occasion is, look where Rousset is. It's got no chance. Put that in... that and Solcombe are the 2 for today to take out, who had no chance in their early posies.
Oh, G-Rod, I'm sorry for you. Sorry,
I think she's actually finished tailed off, Lyrical Lady. I think she probably finished last, yeah. Obviously not showing her form for one reason or another.
Look, this is horse racing for you, isn't it? But we do end our day with State Occasion, the one that caught the eye there down at the start for Rossa Ryan. I think in all we've had a good day, haven't we?
We've seen some good performances.
Yeah, been good, hasn't
We've had a good day. Who gets the trophy? I've
Yeah.
completely lost track. Barry did get the 1-2 in the Sussex Stakes.
I think you're forecasting
You
the
got
first.
Trillium. My forecast was pretty good.
Your forecast in the first is you had that trophy from the get-go. You had that trophy from the get-go. That's it.
I will hand it
Yours.
over.
It's like Lord of the Rings, isn't it? When it goes too far from me, I go all weird. Doesn't take a lot to make me
Reluctantly.
weird. No, look, it was
Are
a
you
great...
comparing yourself to Gollum?
Yeah.
Does that make Barry the Eye of Sauron? Sat at home watching everything.
Barry, the Oracle, yeah. How do you feel about that, Barry? Like Lord of the Rings. Barry, good day, though. Good day for liquidity. Good day overall for you.
Yeah, it's not over yet either. Still 2 races to go in the
I
real
know.
world, but enjoyed the show. Thanks, Ross, for doing the glamorous assistant.
Yeah.
And G-Rod, best of luck on your travels. Safe journey and enjoy your trip.
Thanks, Barry. Yeah,
Yeah,
looking forward
thank
to
I'll
it.
miss you.
Yeah,
Miss you.
Oh,
The feeling will not be mutual.
oh, I love it. The
Disgraceful.
bromance continues between G-Rod and Barry.
I think G-Rod, given where he's going, he needs to leave us with a Canadian for the last 3 days of Glorious Goodwood. Good luck, mate.
I actually agree. So G-Rod is off for 3 whole weeks, but you're actually not off. It's like you're like going out. You're not off because you
Nah,
are
yeah.
still writing, typing, doing
I
your
was going
thing.
to say, who's writing the paper? You write 50%
G-Rod's
of
still
the
got
paper.
to do it.
I'm still working most of the trip. Yeah. But no, it's been a good week so far, hasn't it? I'm looking forward to the rest of the week.
Yeah.
Should be great.
I was gonna ask-
Watch out for my mate Mozzie.
Thank you. I was just going to say, before we do let you go, do you have, look, we can't let you end on that nap that came last. So do you have tips either for the rest of the week? Obviously,
Yeah, my mate Mozzie, obviously in the hurdle, Galway hurdle.
Yeah.
We spoke about him. Think he'll win. And Mitt Baaeed, who runs in the King George Qatar Stakes on Friday, is
Yes.
probably my bet of the week at Goodwood.
Good. That's what. And it's going to win. And then we're all going to WhatsApp you. We're all going to be on the chat going, yeah, G-Rod.
I'll be watching.
But you're off straight to the airport now.
I'll be watching. Yeah, I'll be
So-
watching live. RP live every day.
Great. Have a
For the
wonderful,
next-
wonderful holiday,
When are you?
Rossi.
We're on the next 3 days, aren't we? RP live. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not you, you're going on holiday. We just talked about it.
I'm just agreeing. I'm just
Yeah.
going, yeah. I'm hosting tomorrow. Then I'm off on Friday. And don't worry, Dave Waters
They've
is back
all-
I think Dave-
on the book Friday.
I think Dave's. Sorry, I'm imagining Dave coming in with some fresh, olive oil and
Oh my
mozzarella,
God, Dave's going to
olive
come in
skin
with and go,
tanned.
I'm back! Here
Yeah.
I am! Back in his throne. It's going to be absolutely hilarious. And then I'm going to work with Dave on Saturday. He'll have a bit of a tan about him. He does a great time in Italy. So, yeah, much to look forward to. But Ross, thanking you. Perfect commentary, brilliant banter, great jokes, half was missed. But hey, fantastic to have you in, so thank you.
You're welcome. And if anyone wants an ice cream,
You're the
working
man.
now,
You're the man, aren't you, Ross?
yeah. Later on, I'm working on. We're rebooting Bullseye. Then I'm doing a barbershop quartet tomorrow, and I'm working as a deck chair at the weekend.
Ross, Google Max Rushton in the dance in the bar, and that's the shirt he has on.
What Max Rushton? What? Sorry.
The dance in the
Max
bar.
Rushton.
Okay, let's have a look.
Have you got it?
Using the stool as a drum.
You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
you know that.
Natalie,
nothing like it.
I sent it to you, Natalie. Have a look at it.
Oh, okay, I can't wait. I'm going to look at this. This is going to be
Nothing like
absolutely brilliant.
Okay, guys, enjoy. See you all
Yeah,
tomorrow.
thank you. Right, let's wrap it up because tomorrow is day 3 of Glorious Goodwood, the Nassau. Wow, that's really exciting to look forward to. It's a bit of a fillies and mares day for the highlight, and then of course we are back Friday, back Saturday, bringing all the action of what has already been a Glorious Goodwood. But don't worry, we're back again tomorrow, so be sure to tune in. Thanks for all your interactions. See you tomorrow.